Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we are back for some more Hades 2 Early Access because we just got a new update, the Warsong update, and a ton of stuff has been added. A new encounter on the surface at the very end, a new boon-giving god, a whole bunch of boons to go with that, boon reworks, enemy reworks, a new familiar, crafting resources have been reworked, and apparently over 1,000 new voice lines as well, so a ton of new stuff. Let's jump in to go check it out. I'm hoping we can see a fair bit of that new stuff. Arcana cards, I think, have been reworked as well. It has, for what it's worth, been a month or two since we last played, so I might be a little bit rusty, but hopefully...
Strength and wisdom of my predecessors.
Hopefully we can still check out some of those new things, and new art for the Arcana cards, and they are quite detailed. Oh, wow. The Wayward Son, and it's Zagreus. Okay. So, okay, we might kind of just need to reassess any and everything. I think I'm going to go all the way back to the start of the Crossroads to just see what else we might notice. I feel like we're slightly faster than we were before, for what it's worth. Okay, nothing new here. Are we just not allowed to go back to our little... oh, wait, no, hold on. Guess it's not often that we've had reason to go all the way back here. Got a little lost in the Crossroads, which I think actually has been reworked a little bit, or at least restylized a bit.
You'll find them, and you'll have so much to talk about. Let the longing for them spur you on for now.
Okay, doesn't seem like any new conversations there. I'm sure there must be new prophecies. Are we done with this? Daughter of the God of the Dead shall use the silver pool to unlock each of the nocturnal arms. Okay, we'll take it. A little bit of extra bones. And new ones here. Prevail at the mountain's peak. So yes, new encounter on the surface at the very end. As for whether that means Prometheus is still the final boss, or if there's actually someone after him, or if it's more just a lore-related encounter, we'll have to see. Let's see, this one's new as well. Daughter of the God of the Dead shall earn the rarest of blessings from the Olympians, so this is basically getting the legendary boon from everyone. And then here, Daughter of the God of the Dead shall vanquish foes imbued with each of the different dangerous perks from the Vow of Fangs. I think that's entirely new, or at least I do not remember it. Maybe it's one of those debuffs we put on ourselves at the beginning. Anything new going on around here? Doesn't look like it. Of course, I'm sure most of the new stuff we're going to see once we actually get out and start a new run. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's because that's Dora. I was looking at this tent. I was like, huh? That looks kind of new. Okay, still waiting on some other things to come up for us. Were we always able to admire them?
Drink deep and grow tall.
I honestly don't remember. Oh, this
Father.
definitely looks new.
A finely chiseled countenance of the underworld's unseated king instills a sense of quiet contemplation and resolve in whosoever dares to meet those stone, unseeing eyes.
Watch over me, Father.
Okay. I think I heard that Homer, the narrator, in particular, has a lot of new lines. Kind of like the one that we just heard. Okay, now let's head over here. Take a little bit of a closer look at what the deal is with the Arcana. Because I think the cost, and also, in some cases, the actual abilities themselves have changed. Obviously, the art is new. I think the names have changed in some cases, though it's probably less significant. Also, the zoom in on our X-ray hand is a little unnerving. That's a little bit new, and I'm not sure I particularly like it. It's a little unsettling. I don't know. Let's see. Charge moves are 30% faster. It's been long enough that I don't really remember exactly what all of our Arcana cards were doing. And I don't know if the position of any of them has changed. That might also be a thing, and there are some cards for which the positioning does matter, because you, in some cases, do need to have cards all the way in a row or column, or can't repeat a certain number for the Arcana or Grasp cost. Oh, it looks like we have 2 Grasp to spare. I don't remember if that was previously the case or not. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to do a first scan to see if we do have any, if we have 3 or more of any cost, because I know that's going to mess with one of our cards. So we have 2 1s activated, 2 2s activated, a single 3, it looks like, 2 4s, and 2 5s. Okay, so no immediate alarms in that regard, and we do have a full column, so let's at least look at the ones that we have set here. So, charge moves 30% faster, sure. After each location, restore 5 health. I do remember having something along those lines. I don't know if the number has changed at all, but that seems pretty similar. While you have less than 100% magic, your attack and special deals 50% more damage. I remember that. It's gonna... yeah, sure, we'll go through all of them. While you channel your charge moves, everything moves slower for 0.8 seconds. This, I'm pretty sure, is new, or at least it used to come from a keepsake and is now on an Arcana card, and the keepsake that it used to be on has been reworked. We'll have to take a closer look at that. Your Hex also charges up automatically as if you were spending 1 magic every 1 second, and that I do recall. You have to activate any surrounding card to do that. I mean, that is free if we can manage to do that. Although, well, we only have 1 Arcana at 3 Grasp, I think, activated at the moment, which means we could theoretically, if we have a tiny bit more Grasp to work with, get this one and get you along the way as well, which would be kind of nice. Okay, then let's see, you have a 9% chance, plus 9% chance, to deal critical damage with each move in a charged combo. Okay, that, I think, is at the very least renamed. Some of this art is great. At least when you highlight the actual card and see the full-size version of it, when they're all small in the array that we have here on the left, it's a little hard to see them in their full detail, and I feel like it's kind of hard to appreciate in that case. The Unseen... because these are now, in many cases, based off of characters that we've, of course, seen. That's obviously Selene, Artemis, fitting, given how it's named the Huntress, as we were saying, Zagreus, so on and so forth. Okay. Let's see, restore 4 magic every 1 second. Is that slightly different? I don't know. I mean, we hadn't used it. Cast momentarily make you impervious and move 50% faster. That, I remember reading in the patch notes, has changed. I think this is completely new. And that sounds pretty good. I don't know how long momentarily is, but being impervious and moving really fast are pretty nifty tools to have. And it only costs 1, so you know what? I'm a little tempted. We were to get rid of the extra speed on the charge abilities
The messenger.
and get this instead. I feel like this is more consistent. I mean, of course, most of the time you're going to have some sort of Selene boon that's going to make, and Hex, which is going to make you want to use charge-up moves, but occasionally you don't really have charge-centric runs, whereas most of the time you're going to have something for your cast. Okay, then to start off with the extra life and magic. Is that Prometheus? Oh, that art is intense. Oh, that's definitely Prometheus giving fire to humans. That is such amazing art. You can see even the feathers from his bird friend as well. Deal extra damage to foes in your cast. That does sound familiar. We've definitely used that before. I think some of the numbers have just changed, either up or down. That looks like it's lower than what we'd seen before. So that might have been nerfed. Don't quote me on that, but the Swift Runner sounds new. Sprint is 5% faster, lets you pass right through most dangers in your way. That also sounds very nifty. I think it's similar. So we have had an Arcana card in the past that gave us a speed boost, but definitely did not allow us to pass straight through enemies. Don't know if that speed boost is higher or lower than it used to be, though. So that's also competing for that 1 Grasp cost slot, which is now much more competitive than it used to be, it seems like. So I remember we were kind of struggling to find something that felt especially useful there, but we do kind of want to keep this whole column. So I think we're gonna keep you to maintain that, and that means probably not gonna do this. We'll instead have you be the one that we're testing out. Okay, Death Defiances, that remains the same. Gain extra max health, max magic every several locations, that's consistent. Deal extra damage to foes while at least 2 curses from different Olympians. Yeah, I mean, I remember that being a thing. Again, I don't remember exactly what the cost of it was and how much of a damage boost it was. Take 0 damage for the first 3 times you're hit in Guardian encounters. Yes, that's been really good for us in the past. We're definitely looking to keep that. Boons you're offered have plus 10% chance to be a duo boon whenever possible. And this is where we need to make sure we don't have any cards that cost, or any more than 2 cards that cost the same amount. So if we're willing to forego this, we could test out the Swift Runner, which, you know, maybe, just for the sake of trying out new things, we'd be up for. Then you, boons have much greater chance of being rare. 2 chances to turn any minor find into major find. We've experimented with this, and it can be quite good at times. Big extra coins. Did this always cost 5? Probably did. I mean, this is so useful. Reroll. More rerolls. More rerolls. Well, you've no Death Defiance. You take less damage and deal more damage. I don't remember if that previously existed or not. Then this one, big increase in your chance of getting epic boons. Need to activate all 5 cards in a row or column. That's why we're saying we want to maintain this. And then this one was pretty funky, I remember. Activate 3 random inactive in Arcana cards whenever you vanquish a Guardian. But you have to only have 3 cards activated or less at the beginning in order for this to activate. So, you know, we'll probably pass on that. So I think the big question is mostly just, do we want to try this one out? And if we do, we're either going to have to dump this, or dump this. Maybe we're willing to forego the duo boons, at least for this run. Okay. Oh, look at this! I don't remember this being a thing before. Does this, on the far right, it's a little hard to see. It's a little hard for me to point to it, really. But to the right of our hand, where it basically shows a bunch of cards stacked together, does that basically equate to how many cards of a given grasp cost we have activated? Thought that was why we had 3. Well, that's actually 4 in a certain column. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what to make of that. Also, you can see, apparently each card equates to a specific bone, a specific phalange, or metatarsal. No, carpal? Going back to biology class on that one. But, okay. I think there have been at least 1 or 2 keepsake reworks. I think there's at least 1 new keepsake for the new god that has been added. I think this has been reworked. This might have been the one that we were saying has basically been switched over onto an Arcana card, and now the keepsake just gives you plus 50 max magic, which is straightforward, but it is useful, especially when you are trying to go with the hex-centric runs. Okay, I think we were most recently doing chaos runs, which were very different, so we might want to go back to a more standard keepsake of sorts for the start here, which could even mean the gold purse. It's kind of close to, how many more rooms do we need? 14? Might be just enough that we won't get it in 1 floor, but we might still start with that nonetheless. Okay, so we'll go that route. Oh yes, the gathering resource system has been totally reworked, where apparently we now no longer are limited to just gathering 1 resource based on the specific gathering tool that we selected. That's why you don't see any gathering tools here. So as for how exactly that plays out, I think they said that there are overall fewer gathering resources, since you can get there's no limit to the variety of types you can get on a given run, but in total across all the different resources on aggregate? Will that still be more or less? Not entirely sure.
You keep on vanishing into the pitch black stone, young one. My disciples and I, we've been thinking must be something pretty good in there.
Well, Commander, it's not exactly a feast on the other side. Whenever I use the stone, in many ways it's just like any other night. Except, I really shouldn't say.
Oh. Oh, is that? That art looks different as well for Malinui. That facial expression, I don't know, looks a little strange to me.
Come on, why not? Not like somebody's gonna tell on you. I mean, have we not earned your trust, or what?
The stone reveals its own secrets, not I. Show the Commander.
Oh, I didn't really intend to do that, but sure.
Above, a full moon flares, bestowing all her grace and power from beyond an earthly canopy of trees and soaring precipices which provide a pristine vantage point.
The crossroads between realms.
I think the damage of these guys has been reduced slightly, I thought I remembered seeing. Okay, oh, also as for which weapon we're actually going to use, or which aspect, that remains to be seen. There are definitely new trials,
Chaos.
and we had a lot of fun doing these. However, I think we're probably going to focus primarily on the straightforward, full-blown runs for the time being. And then once we feel like we've hit a natural stopping point with those, or we're looking for just mixing it up a little bit, that's when we'll probably look to go back to these ones. So, you are the bonus bones weapon. I think some of the skills for these have been reworked. I don't recall exactly which one, but I think they're either, you know, typically charged attacks or specials, I think, are the ones that I thought I remembered seeing pop up most often in the patch notes. Oh, so we don't need to upgrade it. We just need to select it, potentially. Because, yeah, we'd need more adamant. Is that from the Olympus? Where we get that? I guess we could just stick with the
Why not?
most heavily upgraded version. It's a little reminder. Short range, fast attack, charged attack. I think that's different from what it used to be. Special, I remember that. What about charged version? Is it just heat seeking? Is that the main difference? That I don't remember. And cast is pretty standard between different weapons, so okay. I think we're good to go here in that case. Oh, as for what, if anything, we're looking to activate here. So we are definitely going to go to the surface because that's where the most things have changed. This weapon gives us bonus stuff from defeating Prometheus, which, you know, is not the easiest threshold to reach, especially when we've been out for a little while. So I'm a little wary of that. Can we... Hold on. How do I reduce it by 1 again? We have to do 2, or just 1 is sufficient? Seems like just 1 is sufficient, at least to have Prometheus's face light up there, so I think we're good in that case. We up for having enemies with 1 additional shield?
By will of night.
Alternatively, we could do a little bit of extra health, do a little bit of extra damage. Sure, let's go with the shield. Okay, so we'll go here.
This way this time.
We'll see what else we can learn and experience and encounter.
We heard the news that you found out Hades, niece. The most excellent news, I should say. Except the part that he is bound in Tartarus, that isn't excellent at all. We'll get you out of this, brother.
Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Basic attack, basic cast. We have the sprint. Oh, which at least from... Wait, whenever you sprint, you can damage and knock away foes. The first foe you run into. Okay, because we had one of those chaos runs that was based around this boon specifically, and it was incredible. It was so much fun, and I don't know if we had ever taken it in a normal run before, but it opened our eyes to it.
Tides come in.
Oh. I feel like we don't usually see that guy. His very first room, at least. It did seem like the description at least suggested that this sprint is weaker than it used to be because it only hits the first enemy.
From the
However,
docks, I can find a ship to cross the rift.
it used to cost mana
sense of
every
fish.
time we run into an enemy with it. So from that standpoint, it's a little bit easier to spam. Okay, let's see. Haven't done much fishing. That was fake. That was fake. That's real.
Got a bite.
Oh, I forgot this is a thing. What do I do again? Do I wait for it to do that? I don't remember what I do. Oh, like that. Okay. Well, oh, okay.
Get
Well,
away.
I missed that.
However narrowly.
In large part because I didn't know what button to press. Or well, I thought I had to like move around the cursor rather than wait for the fish to come to me. So if I hadn't just missed several opportunities at the beginning there, I think we would have had it. But that's a good example of, I don't know if we had the fishing rod previously, but obviously we can fish. And now the fishing rod functionally does not exist anymore. You can fish no matter what. You technically walk into that. That is true. Excuse me, why are none of these... Okay, none of those hit you. You're basically immune to damage when you're standing in that corner unless we use the special. At least you're immune to the attack. That feels a little cheap.
The highest peaks of Olympus, it's the Premium Express. The finest, fastest blessings for only the most discerning customers. That's you.
Alright, let's see. Gain dodge chance and move speed that increases... Wait, that increase the more boons you have. Okay, so early on, that's doing very little for us, but long term, that could end up being very effective. That, I don't remember seeing before, or maybe it's been reworked. Sprint is 15% faster, gives you a barrier that ignores 3 instances of damage per encounter. That is really good, and that does add up, especially if we take it this early. Foe projectile speed much slower. I do like this, but it's not doing that much for us in the short term, so I think we just hope to see it later on, and for now, we go with a nitro boost. Okay, I think we're good for now.
The main square.
Okay, now we're gonna have some choices here. As for what we do and do not want to take. So, let's see. We were at the point where we were more consistently having a bit of a plan going into a run, but it's been long enough since we last played and since we last used this weapon that I don't really have a good feel for what we're going for here. Aphrodite, we know at least with the base attack, gives us a huge numerical damage boost. Maybe that number has changed, but that's a little tempting. Obviously, we already have Poseidon, so we could try to get more of that for some Poseidon synergies. Selene early. We don't really have any good way to spend our magic yet. I think maybe Aphrodite. I'm blanking out on what the other NPC next to Aphrodite's name is. Is it Medea? Then maybe Poseidon. We could double up on... Oh, there's double hearts. I don't know. We'll see. We don't have to figure it all out right now, but why don't we start with you? So we can hopefully get one of the basic boons, because right now all we have is a... But at least from a damage standpoint, all we have is the sprint damager, which is, you know, not really the easiest thing to be a primary source of damage. At least...
Put a dent into that barrier.
Unless you're doing that specific chaos challenge. Okay, so let's see what we get here.
Shame that the cursed city of Ephira is your first exposure to the splendors of the surface love. It stood in tribute to your mother and your father until Kronos had his way. I still grow angry when I think on it.
Okay, so we're looking for the attack, I think. The basic attack. Attack gains power. Oh! I don't think this is the basic attack boon, or at least it's not the one I was thinking of. We prime magic, but we get just a flat 7 damage on our attack. It's kind of tempting, to be honest with you. Does make it hard to turn this into a Hex magic-centric run. that is a fair bit of priming, at least at this stage. Whenever you use 20 magic, create a heartthrob that deals a bunch of damage. So these two things kind of are different sorts of builds you're working around. Cast inflict weak and damage foes while dragging them toward the center. We do have some new cast-oriented stuff with that Arcana card we took, but I think that's... The attack one is more along the lines of, at least in the very early stages, what we would like to see. So we can take enemies out a little more quickly. I don't remember if this... I think this was something that we found is better to take early instead of taking late in the floor, if I remember correctly.
Returned to my abode.
Do we have your keepsake yet? I don't recall. I do not recall. I think I'm going to pass on gifting anything to you, because if we do encounter the new god, then I would like to have the chance to gift to them.
How fares great Hecate amid such inauspicious nights? Scarce has she had occasion lately to illuminate this place.
So it is Medea.
Headmistress seems well enough. I've not once seen hardship ever get to her. But then, perhaps she wears that veil of hers so as to never show even a trace of doubt.
We all wear veils, don't we, sorceress? Great Hecate, she merely puts aside all pretenses about it. Well, good to know that she is still herself, and I remain her humble servant here.
Okay, let's see. So after the foe joins the encounter, they randomly take either a tiny or huge amount of damage, or somewhere in between. We've been tempted by this before. I don't remember if we've actually taken it, though. If your foe is slain, 5% chance to drop some healing, limit 1 per encounter. We've definitely taken this before. It's a little hard to actually see when that does arrive. Whenever a foe makes use of death... Wait, whenever a foe? Oh, makes you use Death Defiance. Okay. It loses 15% health. That's actually kind of interesting. That might be new. I don't remember seeing this before. And if you factor in that most, but not all the time, when we use a Death Defiance, it's against a boss, you could potentially see that as 15% damage to a boss for, I don't want to say free, but if you're using multiple Death Defiances against a boss, say the final boss, then that could actually add up to be quite a bit. So I'm a little tempted to go that route. I think we try it.
So motive be.
We have to break this, right?
So motive
Okay. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here.
be. May all your foes be damned.
That is a great line.
Has lost some of its strength.
Okay, so now do we double down on Poseidon? I suppose. Well, actually, okay, now I'm thinking more about the synergies. So we were trying to go a little bit on the Aphrodite side of things, thinking that the base attack boon, which I think we technically still did not get, yeah, that was technically a supporting boon, not a primary attack boon from Aphrodite. The primary attack boon from Aphrodite gives you a huge damage bonus if you are up close to the enemies that you attack. The thing about Poseidon is that he's generally all about knockback. So you could argue there's a bit of a counter synergy between Aphrodite and Poseidon. So is that reason to stop pursuing Poseidon? You could make the case it is. Maybe we go double Zeus instead. I think we're probably going to skip out on Selene since we've already... Oh, I see you. I was going to say, I was like, what? Just standing there, doing nothing. Just hit you in that. I'd rather not go into the fire myself, though. Hey, man. How's it going? Oh, you have armor. Fancy schmancy. No, I actually meant to hit you with that. And you know what? Oh, excuse me, sir. Yeah, I meant to do that. Oh, okay, maybe that was a little preemptive. Don't particularly like these guys. Never have.
Olympus.
Okay, so let's see what we can do with Zeus.
Traitorous Titan Prometheus leads the vanguard of our enemy's forces on Olympus. Apparently he didn't learn a thing from when we punished him for his past crimes. We shall have to think of new ways to make him come around.
Maybe, you know, locking him up on a rock and having a bird eat out his liver or whatever it was not the greatest idea after all. Imagine that. The guy holds a grudge against us. Who would have thunk it? Well, I am actually quite interested to see, since supposedly Prometheus was not technically the final encounter and there is now something after him, does that mean a totally new boss fight or a non-combat related encounter? Because we still see people referring to him as the leader of the forces on Olympus, so it seems like it'd be a little odd for there to be someone else for us to fight after him. I mean, he's already a Titan. Who's going to be higher up than a Titan besides just another Titan? So if anything, if I had to theorize, if I had to guess, I would assume we actually get to the city of Olympus, not just the mountain itself, and then maybe we can interact with some of the gods and goddesses who we previously have only been able to coordinate with through these messages, and we never really get the chance to speak with them. They can only give messages to us. And that'd be sort of a nice... it'd be a nice move, because in Hades 1, you pretty much can't do that at all, outside of people who eventually end up back in town, or, you know, in the non-combat NPCs, people like Medea, for example, who you just sort of meet in a room by themselves. So, to actually be able to speak directly to the primary gods and goddesses who've been helping you along the way would be a really nice touch. Because in so many ways, people have been waiting so long to be able to do that. Okay, so what do we have here? Casts cause lightning bolts to repeatedly strike one foe at a time in the binding circle. I do like that. It is highest rarity option we have here. This primes a whole bunch of magic. In fact, almost all of our magic. Strikes emit chain lightning that bounces up to 4 times. I mean, it does mean our fairly fast attack, which we've already upgraded a bit, is now even stronger. So you can make the case that that's a bit of a synergy with what we're doing. After you take damage, foes struck by lightning, and again, 50% of the time, I think let's go with the Storm Ring. If we do get Static Shock later on, ideally with a higher rarity, then that is of some interest. Now we get to do this.
Go, Phrynos.
So this is a little bit interesting.
Cheers, Phrynos.
I was going to say that since we don't need specific tools to gather crafting materials, that maybe takes away a bit from Phrynos' value of automatically giving you access to those shades, because now you can always interact with those shades. It's just that it is a free auto-complete, whereas if you don't have Phrynos, it's been so long since we opted not to take Phrynos, but you would have to complete a minigame. Kind of like what we saw with the fishing. Obviously, it's a different minigame, but let's go back for more Zeus. Oopsie daisy. It's a little hard sometimes to keep track of whether you have hit someone with your dash yet. Technically, there is a visual effect, and it's a fairly obvious visual effect, to be honest with you. We have the wave-like visual when we have yet to hit anyone with our dash, whereas that actually goes away once we have hit someone. Like there you see, no more wave. It's just that when you're right on top of a large group of enemies, it's a little hard to see sometimes whether that's still there or not.
What a stench. In the name of Hades.
Okay, what did we get this time? That is the basic Zeus attack, right? Which is not to say it's bad, but we were thinking about Aphrodite just because it has such a high amount of damage. In each encounter, other font appears in areas, restores all magic when used. Has that been a thing in the past? I mean, we've already established that I know we've only locked down some of our magic, but it still feels like we were pretty comfortable committing to the whole this is not going to be a hex or magic run. Old cast to aim where the binding circle appears. I do like that. Foes within are struck by lightning. We already have some lightning cast related stuff. It's pretty powerful. So that is flat 80 damage, which is nice, but I think we'll still... This just synergizes the best of what we have going on right now. Oh, I was about to say, I feel like we haven't seen any of these side areas yet. I saw a little note in the patch notes saying that they made it more likely for you to get these areas to show up.
take you.
if you have not had any show up yet, or if you've had only a few show up. So basically, the game becomes smarter with when it has these show up. I feel like I might have missed one, because, surprise, we had not yet seen one. Okay, so what are we thinking now? We have 2 left, so it could be double heart. We're thinking probably pass on Selene. We go double heart, then we have to choose, but it's definitely not going to be double magic if we're more or less committing to not making this a hex/magic run. So do we want another boon from Poseidon, or we go in the Demeter route? Again, some question about whether Poseidon would make sense with Aphrodite. I do like Demeter a lot for the freeze effect. It is very convenient. Double health is also just good value if you're thinking of it from a gold standpoint. This is, what, 250, whereas a boon would be 150 in terms of value. So maybe we take this. Oh.
Please.
Okay.
I'm working here, sister. Care to pitch in? Fine, but don't get underfoot.
Alrighty then. Things just got a little bit more interesting. Okay, this encounter I think has technically changed a little bit, where supposedly we kill the enemy that has that little target on it. We get a bonus of some variety, except he totally stole that from us. Come on. Any day now. I think it's a gold bonus we get from it. Yeah, 20 gold, you can see. Not sure that was the right time to do that. I was kind of trying to delay a bit. Ow. Come on, I'm stuck. We got 100 gold? That seems decent. I didn't really see how well he did. He might have outdone us. I'm not sure.
The spoils of war.
Do we have a keepsake from him yet? I'm not sure that we do. Might gift to him. Let's do it. We only have 1 nectar, so there is the risk that if we do see other new people show up, we won't have the chance to gift to them later on, but we might encounter nectars later on in the run anyway.
Great son of Zeus, I offer you this gift of nectar, that it may quench your thirst as you labor for the gods. They must be grateful for your might.
Did he refer to us as sister before? Because, yeah, he is a son of Zeus, which I would think, if anything, would make him cousins with... I mean, we're certainly family, but I think cousins, unless, you know, there's enough overlap between the various gods and goddesses that he might technically be both our cousin and our brother, and maybe it's best not to think about it too much in that case.
Saves me having to find another bottle for when next I have to prove my fealty. Here, something for your trouble.
Okay, sounds like we did not yet have his keepsake.
No trouble at
A
all.
lion
Thank you.
fang. We'll have to check that out once we get back to the crossroads, but as for our actual chat with you...
I know what you are, you bloody witches. One foreign word, one finger-wagging gesture directed at me, and I'll squeeze you till you pop.
Well, you know, glad to see that our family is all very nice to one another.
That won't be necessary. Though I would know how came you to feel this way about us bloody witches. How many have you met?
2 questions too many.
Oh,
The more you know,
all right.
the more you can manipulate. Now off with you. You never saw me.
Interesting dynamic. Still haven't seen too much of Heracles, but seems like on one hand he kind of wants to hate us. On the other hand, he's sort of more subtly... I mean, obviously he's helping us. It's kind of like Nemesis, in a way. He's a rival of sorts. But perhaps at the end of the day, we do still have the same end goal in mind, where we want to
Where else can we go?
save Olympus. Okay, so yeah, now the question becomes Demeter versus Poseidon. And in a vacuum, I would probably say Demeter most of the time. You know, I think let's go Demeter. The strongest case to be made for Poseidon is that we have the Poseidon boon already, so there's some potential to get greater value out of additional boons from him. Oops, I did not realize that was also fire. You know what? I am going to break that. These guys actually take more damage when we hit them into the fire, because I thought I noticed that we did hit someone into the fire in one of the earliest rooms, and he sort of lit up a little bit, but it didn't really see his health bar moving at all.
Nothing lives in the city of Aphira, and I shall keep it that way until its infestation of shambling wretches is brought to heel. Though you need not concern yourself with the details. We have someone already on the case.
Oh. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know much of anything about the city of Aphira, or how or why there are all these undead people here. If that's mythologically accurate, or if that's just something they did for the sake of giving us enemies in the game. And what role, if any, Demeter might have played in that. So, I feel like I'm missing some context there. Let's see, our casts also create a gust at the binding circle, which makes enemies a little bit slower. The range shots are much slower, lasts for 3 seconds, and it deals a little bit of damage, not a lot. We do have a lot going on our cast right now, so it is kind of intriguing to make it stronger, although this just doesn't feel like that's going to make that big of a difference. We don't have anything on our special, so that'd be kind of nice, and it does give us a way to get freeze, which is one of the main benefits of getting Demeter. We do have the attack freeze option, which is really nice. The only downside is pure damage. It's not great at that, so I think we go special. We get the benefit of the freeze, and we don't need to commit to having a somewhat lower base damage attack. Oh, we get some health from that as well. That's nice. Okay, so obviously we're going to go in here, though. That was very nice. Oh, I forgot this is... I forget what we did that made this possible, but yeah, it is now a thing that we can get extra... Oh, it's not really a boon, but it counts as having one extra water boon, which is the category we have the most of at the moment. Not that we have anything that scales based on our number of boons. Okay, so now, where were we? Here.
That's good.
And here. Okay, we actually have a whole lot of coins because we took the keepsake that gives us extra coins, and we also got a little bit of extra coinage from that previous encounter with Heracles, and definitely made that room with... Oh no, hold on, before he takes anything.
To think my blessing could be had for a mere bit of coin. Know that the boatman brokered this particular exchange only for you. Our services have never been for sale.
You know, I'm not so sure about that. Okay, so... Uh-oh. Is Heracles about to get an idea? I'm fine if he steals the healing, because we're on full health. Oh no, he just stole the other thing while we were on this page. That's frustrating. It was a palm, was the other thing. I deliberately took this as quickly as possible, thinking that we could beat Heracles to the punch, but he ended up taking something anyways. Okay, so... This is a... Oh no, this is the base attack from Zeus. Higher rarity than I think we saw before. Lightning bolt effects may strike 2 times. What do we have that does lightning right now? Our cast does... The base damage is not that high, although it does have high frequency. Is that the only thing we have? Guess that's also lightning. Okay, so this is not horrible. Your strikes emit chain lightning that bounce up to 4 times, but we prime more... Oh, we did see this previously, and I think we were intrigued by it, but I don't think it was this high rarity, so I think we take this. It does mean that we are, yes, priming a whole bunch of magic, but as we were saying before, we basically already committed to this not being a magic run. Okay. Oh, let us chat.
Supplying goods to mighty Heracles. Sometimes I wonder whom else you provide for, my lord. Not that you'd say.
Hopefully not any of our enemies.
Oh.
Did he tell us? Maybe he did tell us. I mean, he's pretty clearly on our side, I think.
Be safe, Lord Charon.
Okay.
You said nobody took your eye before, as well as your sheep. How did you lose them then?
Nobody played a dirty trick on me as Al. Plus the sailors thought they could get away with my sheep, so I ate a couple of them. The sailors, that is. But nobody got me when I wasn't looking. Then he got away.
Nobody is this person's name. I believe that nobody was Hermes, and Hermes was technically not a god at that point in time, but the gods and goddesses were so impressed by this that they turned him into a god, if I remember correctly.
And you've sought vengeance on this nobody ever since?
Oh, not me personally. Someday somebody's gonna get nobody for what he did. So I am gonna get you right here and now.
Alright. Right, does that? Oh, I forgot. He can technically deal damage just by jumping into us. Even before he lands. It's not just that shockwave. Oh, that was bad. Oh, that's also very bad. Yeah, this is a brutal attack. I don't technically remember what it is that we're supposed to do to get out of it, so I kind of just spammed a whole bunch of buttons. I also am not entirely sure what he does that... Oh, and that was horrible as well. Oh, dear. Okay, we can freeze him like this, which I kind of forgot about. These sheep don't like us. Ooh. It's not my best Polyphemus performance thus far. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, dear. Oh, okay. Really thought I would time that dash. The game just did not give us iframes for it, which is frustrating. Oh, right, this is where I very much do not want to stand there. That was not really close enough to do what I wanted to do. Alright, that's a mean sheep. Don't trust it.
So that's how it is.
I'm afraid it is. It's not really who I was looking for, but okay. Okay, that was his grab attack. I just don't know what the... I still don't know what phase he does it in. That also looked like a grab attack. So I don't know when I need to be wary of being right next to him. Because obviously you kind of need to be right next to him to do at least basic attacks. Remember this music being this elaborate either. That little wind up, his arm, where he does that, I'm gonna get you. Seems like that's it. Basically just means after he does his jump. That's just not where I meant to do that. Definitely does feel like this is taking longer than it ought to take. And we are definitely taking way more now that I... Oh my god. Wow. Okay, I'm very displeased with how much damage we've taken. Oh, I see how low our health is. Wait for it. We obviously... Oh. Range. That's aimed at us. We do get healing if we get out of this encounter without having to use Death Defiance, but we get healing regardless, but just don't want to have to use a Death Defiance. Okay, that was much closer than it should have been. I think the rust is definitely showing. Have that. Okay. Oh, what's this?
If once this was a pasture in which livestock grazed and roamed, now little evidence of this remains. Only the mud and half-burnt vestiges of a more peaceful time.
Polyphemus should be tending to this place.
Okay, well, let's head out. Fortunately, we will get the chance to heal back up. Still, oof. Not that much healing, though. We do want to change keepsakes. Except that, you know, this is about to evolve. Oh, we can look at what this new keepsake is. Deal plus 30% damage, but lose 5% of this bonus after each encounter. Oh, wow. Every room. It's a very short-term damage bonus. Huh. I mean, trying to think of what the best use case for that is. You would think, well, obviously you'd only want to use it for one floor, because the longer you have it, the weaker it becomes. But does that mean you'd want it on the last floor? I mean, ideally, you'd be able to switch onto it mid-floor, like right before a big boss fight, to get the full damage just for that, and then floor ends, you can immediately switch to something else afterward. But I don't remember off the top of my head there being any opportunities to switch your keepsake mid-floor, only at the end of the floor. So, definitely not about to use it right now, but that's food for thought. How best to use that in the future. Now, might need to go with something kind of defensive here, because we took a lot more damage than I would have liked. Ghost Onion gives us some healing. Would rather not have to go to the Luckier Tooth on this floor. Would prefer to save that for, if anything, the final floor. Could go with a god or goddess specific keepsake, but I don't really think that's what we need on this occasion. I forgot about this. Okay. Yeah, I think we probably do take you. Either that, or we go with the Silken Sash, which has a little more potential if we play safely over the course of a long floor, but this one is a little bit safer. Now, as for you, okay, admittedly, it might have been worth looking at this first, because seeing that we had the opportunity to heal here, that might have changed a lot. Because we don't really need that keepsake nearly as much if we do this. Oh, except I forgot this is delayed. Okay. I would like to take this as well. We do have a lot of gold even after purchasing both those things, so I think we'll be fine. Okay. So I guess keepsake holds us over for a few rooms, hopefully. And then we get some healing, which could be well timed. So, okay. Let's jump. Oh. Wait, what?
Check.
Oh, no, that was just all from the keepsake. The keepsake just immediately kicks in. Okay, let's see. There was a familiar here that we've seen a bazillion times, but we have yet to actually bring you back. But that is, we think, because we didn't have the opportunity to give you one of these.
I got you something. If
Perhaps
this treat
now?
is to your liking, then it means we share a bond. We do. Your name is Tula, isn't it?
Oh.
Let us protect each other from now on.
There we go. Okay, so for what it's worth,
In the training grounds.
that is not the new familiar. We've seen that familiar many times before, and we just, for whatever reason, were not able to actually unlock it until just now. Okay, now we move on. Remember, yeah, those oil spills will catch on fire. Okay, that does turn into a terrain kill. Oh? Hold on. Oh, interesting. You have your theories about this one, Tula. Cats seldom roam the woods of Erebus, as loyal as the species' nature would allow. Okay. Not really looking for the magic. I think we want you. Ooh. That cast is definitely a key to success. Nope, don't do that. A little hard to go dashing around when we have all this fire on the ship. Okay, what are our choices here? More special damage. Cast, do more damage per lightning bolt. Or in this case, also more damage per lightning bolt. This only happens once, whereas this happens Wait. Repeatedly strike one foe at a time in the binding circle. So the longer they stay in the binding circle, the more times this hits them. It just depends on how long they're there for. There isn't a set limit. Which technically, I guess, means we freeze them in the cast using our special, and there's some synergy stuff going on there. So I think we go with this.
Good. My keepsake's out.
Okay, well, it served its purpose already. Ooh, should have seen that one coming. We did eventually freeze you, but it wasn't until after you hit us. We're armored. There we go. Oh. Well, technically, we can wait to pick you up till after we take one of these. Now, we did use our last nectar, so I think we actually will take this in case we do encounter someone new. Really? Who I wanted to hit with that? So I'm deliberately not picking up the heals until later on in this encounter, because they should stick around. So they're... Oh, there we go. Another round of enemies here. Okay, good, good. Take this. Stammeter. And freeze lasts longer. We have seen this before, and we scaled it up to absolutely ridiculous amounts, and it was insane. So I do like that a lot. Don't like this, and whenever you gather resources, any type of resource, that's slightly reworked. Gain some... Wait, restore some life. It's 10% here with this rarity. Gain 1 mystery seed now. So it does give us some healing potential, but I think this is just too good to pass up on.
Life or death.
And then max health, Aphrodite. Let's go Aphrodite. Okay, you are pretty nasty if we let you get a hit in. There's the really long freeze duration, which was very nice. Not sure if it was actually you.
I see you.
Oh, what? Is that Icarus? Who is that who dropped in? Is it Artemis? Who is it? I'm pretty sure it's Icarus. Okay.
Hello.
It was. Alright, we're getting actually a fair number of encounters from other people, which is helping. They're starting to add up.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Okay, let's see. Whenever we spend a lot of magic, create a heartthrob, it deals a lot of damage now, because it's high rarity, but still not really great for our build. Any max life rewards have a greater effect. The earlier you get that, the better. So, still early enough. That's maybe not the worst thing to take. Inflict weak on nearby foes and gradually restore magic while any nearby foe is weak. Weak makes foes deal less damage to us, so defensively, at least, it does certainly still work. The whole magic restoration part, not the most significant. I think we go for this, though. It's a little riskier, because it does depend on us getting more of that stuff. Do we have a keepsake from you? Icarus would welcome an offering. Okay. This was not the person who I had in mind, because of course we have seen Icarus before, but apparently we've not gifted him any nectar before, so I guess we'll do it.
You can fly wherever you want now, but I'm glad you didn't go so far I couldn't catch up. Here, in light of your godlike wings, a little gift.
Oh, come on. Just because I've been flying around near Olympus doesn't mean I get to feast like I'm from there. But maybe with your permission, hey? Know what? I've got something for you too.
Is this one of your inventions?
Experimental hammer. Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have to check that out.
The wretches on these ships don't have their wits, but they hit hard. I know you're good and everything, better than good. It's just, if things go bad, what happens to you then?
I mean, we're technically kind of sort of immortal.
The first thing Headmistress taught me was how not to give in. If my strength is failing me, I use it to return to Shadow whence I came. Almost a reflex at this point.
That's interesting to think of it that way. I mean, yes, we are a goddess, technically, so you would think that, well, we're immortal, so we can't really die, per se, but it's a little more complicated than that, I suppose.
And then at the crossroads, you're up and about by the following night, raring to go. Too bad you can't return Shadow back to where you left off.
That's true. Alright, ooh. Let's see what you can give us. Charge moves also deal 50 damage in an area around the foes they hit, but it uses magic. I mean, it's not really what we're trying to do here. Each time you clear 7 encounters, receive a delivery of healing and 2 palm slices. Longer we have in the run, the more that could add up. That could turn into a pretty significant amount. Casts also blast the area after 4 seconds, dealing 500 damage, but to foes, but 200, or rather 20 to us. Fortunately, not 200, otherwise it would kill us. We've seen this before. I don't think we took it because we weren't sure if that only damages us if we are standing in the cast, or if just using the cast at all deals damage to us. Our cast is our most powerful skill at the moment, so making that even stronger is pretty tempting, especially if we cast and then use our special to freeze enemies in the cast. They continuously get hit by the lightning bolts, so they take more damage from that Zeus cast, and then that also sets them up to eventually be in there when the hazardous boom goes off. So it's... I really like the idea behind this, but this works specifically with our run such that it's pretty tempting. I think we still go for this.
Good choice.
I do. Just because I think it could be very good if those palm slices start to add up, because they very well could be quite numerous. I think there's a new one of these types of encounters, possibly in numerous different floors.
Morning dew and fingernail. Little seeds, I knew you would arrive.
But it is still
You have an
Cersei.
animal familiar there, Poppet. How marvelous to see a beast and you thus bound, each in kind, a source of safety and support. A cyclic pattern, as so many tend to be.
Madam Cersei, this is Freenos, my dear friend in whom I always can confide. In all your knowledge of familiars, is there something you most wish that you'd known early on?
Oh, veritably, yes. Although you mustn't try to skip through the experience of discovery along the journey you were on. But perchance there is something I might convey.
Let us see. Randomly draw one of your inactive arcana and activate it. Various animal familiar abilities are 100% stronger this night. That is interesting, especially since she was just making a big deal about Freenos. But his abilities are not that notable. It's more just a passive effect. So are we talking about giving us 10 extra max life? Oh, bonus chance of resources. Is that new? Not exactly sure how that plays out, to tell you the truth. I don't remember ever having seen that, but that might be new given how the way in which gathering resources works, that has now changed. So that might be a new factor as well. Let's see, restore 50% of your health now. Well, we're now at full health. Any healing effects are 25% stronger this night. There were other healing-oriented things that we saw, right? So, no, max life effects are stronger. Max life effects are stronger, not healing effects. I mean, there's potentially a little bit of synergy there, but that's a bit of a stretch. To be honest, neither of these feel especially meaningful right now. I guess we take this and just cross our fingers that it happens to be a strong Arcana card. There are some that are probably just about useless, but we'll try it. Does it tell us which one it is?
Thanks.
Knights. It does tell us. Okay, that I appreciate. Otherwise, we would have spent a long time trying to figure it out. Knight is... you have 9% chance to deal critical damage. Oh no, with charge up moves in a combo. Okay, that's probably going to be just about useless to us.
It's too much of a mess.
Good
Pick up
find.
one of those. And oh, I almost missed this. Okay, now we've learned a little bit more, or at least been reminded as to how exactly the fishing process works.
The waters teem with life.
Hold on. No. No. Yes.
It's a bite.
Okay, hold on. This is new, or this is the part that I messed up last time. There we go. Okay. A
Is this a crab?
crab of sorts.
You from the rift.
Alright, so I think we established that the way that fish work in Hades 2, we've only done a tiny bit of fishing, but you sell them at the shop in the crossroads and it just gives you more bones, I think.
The sweet and pungent aromas emanating from the cauldron of the witch enchantress Circe suggest the depth of her ability, whether as a practitioner of ancient arts or as a cook.
I can breathe freely here.
Okay.
Hail, piggies.
Yeah, there's still some art, of course, that they've yet to add. There are sheep that are a little more of a piggy color, but they're still definitely looking like sheep, even though, obviously, eventually, one would assume they will be true pigs, and then she has a placeholder art at the moment, at least with her model here. Alright, onto a shop. Is this going to be the penultimate room? I didn't think we were that far on this floor. We have a decent amount of gold. We did spend fairly aggressively earlier on. Hold on. Is this the boss fight? A little hard to tell. Oh! Wait, 350, 450. Okay, we can afford everything here. And honestly, we may opt to go that route. Look, let's go hammer first, because this is potentially the most impactful, so we'd like to see what we get out of this. Attacks are faster. Now, fully charged attack has plus 100 power. Oh, man. The game is really testing us when it comes to our commitment to the whole we are not using a charge-based magic build. This is also a new one that we've yet to take. It might be new altogether. We need it for the prophecy, if nothing else. After blocking with your charged attack, I forgot that that's a thing, but okay, your special auto fires 5 shots, then reloading in 3 seconds. I think we're just going for the faster base attack, which does actually kind of synergize with what we have thus far, what with us getting a high, just flat damage bonus for that attack. But I would have to think, this is only fully charged charge attack, but that plus 100 does sound really good. I would think in a vacuum that that would be the best one. But we've 70 magic primed, so I don't think we'd be able to use it enough for that to be very practical. I think we have to go this route.
Imbued with greater strength.
So, still good, but probably, in an alternate universe, we would have gone in a different direction there. Let's... I think we take this before we take the Poseidon Boon. Oh wait, we can't afford... Oh, we're 3 coins away! What a fool I am. Okay, well... this might still be better than Poseidon Boon would have been. Let's see, your cast... Do a little bit more damage from the lightning bolts. We've already upgraded that a little bit. Freeze duration is even longer. All other form of bolt damage from the cast. This is plus 20. You could do some math to figure out what this is. 4 additional damage. It happens, call it every third of a second. So you're basically getting 12 extra damage per second. Means if the enemy stays in the cast for a little less than 2 seconds, or about 2 seconds, then you get more damage from this than you do from upgrading this, which, if you truly make a point of combining cast with special to freeze enemies in the cast, then this is still better to upgrade than this. I think that is still the answer. Any, golden urns, by any chance? To make me feel a little less silly for my my mathematical oversight. Oopsie, my bad. That was not not the best. Okay, and that was not the penultimate room, which I suppose actually does make it a little bit better that we messed up the map, because it does also mean that there will be another shop at the end of this floor that we have not yet seen. And if we had spent every last penny in the previous shop, which we almost did, then we would have had basically nothing to spend in the next shop. So I might even take this this gold here. And they're functionally worth 100 coins either way. Oh, right. That was extremely close. In fact, I'm very surprised we did not get damaged for stepping in that. Oh, I did not even see you. More? There is. Whoa! Is that the fire explosion that did that? I would like to not be here. Excuse me, sir. Please stop teleporting when I'm trying to hit you. I'm also not entirely sure what you're doing. Oh, that's the reward. Right.
Sailing on.
I knew that. Okay, well, okay, I guess we're going gold again here. Should have plenty of gold at the end of this encounter. In time for the shop, I guess. Didn't really anticipate that we would have this much coming from coming from just this room. Hey, Freenos. How's it going, buddy? He's just vibing over there. I would love if you had moved slightly closer. It's a little hard to get you when you're in that corner like that. Hey. There we go. Okay, so now I would expect for us to be getting pretty close to the penultimate room and therefore final shop. Oh, I do remember these guys being really nasty when it comes to the range they have on those spears. It's kind of insane. Nope. Stop that. Okay. Of course, the other thing is that we got a somewhat rare shop in which we had 3 really good potential rewards last time. Even if we have the money to purchase a bunch of things next time, it doesn't mean that we're going to have good options in the shop. Okay, so don't we get max health from this? I always forget. We get some small passive bonus from picking those. I think that's the one that gives us max health. Also, for what it's worth, probably a relatively small change in the grand scheme of things. Well, maybe not. But it is no longer possible to get Psyche as a end room reward. That has changed. So that was previously in the same category as ashes and bones, but you will not see... Yeah, okay. We do get max health here, but you will not see Psyche as an end room reward anymore. Okay, this has to be the penultimate room now. Half expecting Heracles to show up and steal something. Okay, fortunately he did not, but here's a good example of, okay, yes, there are 3 things in the shop. Yes, I'm fairly certain that we can afford all of them, although perhaps I do not deserve to be trusted with my mouth anymore. But these are significantly worse. Or at least that is significantly worse, and this, who knows how valuable that's really going to be. Yes, we take this now and just bet on upgrading one of our existing boons. Yeah. Static shock? Okay, the chain lightning damage might have been 20 before, now it's 25, I think. As for you... Oh, okay. Suddenly, this does look quite good. It's a duo boon. Didn't we deactivate one of the Arcana cards, the one that gave us the higher chance of duo boons, or was it one that gave us a different type of rarity boost? Your freeze effects also cause lightning bolts to repeatedly strike afflicted foes. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that was kind of what we were going for already, and this just doubles or triples down on that idea, and we haven't taken it yet, so obviously we will opt to do that. So I like that quite a bit. As to whether it's even worth taking this, honestly, I don't think that it is. Do you have anything to say to us, Charon? Now, if we could have traded a little bit of our coins now to get them slightly earlier, so we could have gotten that 1 extra boon, yeah, that would have been nice in the previous shop, but alas. Alas. Now, Eris is tricky. We've had some trouble with her in the past. I think she has technically been reworked a bit.
What in the hell is that you've got on, babe? You could use a change of style, sure, but this is way out there.
Oh, is it our weapon that is kind of kind of out of place in ancient Greece? Okay, that makes sense. At first I was like, why is she saying that? It's not like we have one of those special colored outfits from Arachne. But I think Eris, as well as many of the other bosses, have had their damage downgraded, at least to a certain extent. Obviously, exact skill and exact enemy, I'm sure it varies from case to case. But we have had trouble with her in the past, and that is, in part, one of the reasons why we took that upgrade from Medea. Didn't we choose the one that has us deal damage to enemies, like 15% damage to them whenever we use a Death Defiance? And we have, at times, used several Death Defiances on Eris, so hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that is a bit of a way to power through, especially at the end, when she gets especially strong.
Oh, you must be referring to the black coat. You're right, that is not necessarily my preference for attire, but it's not primarily for show. You'll understand in a moment.
Wait, I remember the black coat. So that's what it looks like? And I thought the adamant rail looked ridiculous. Nyx had such bad taste.
True. Here I am saying, oh, this black coat, which basically turns us into a mech, is out of place in ancient Greece. She has a gun. So, I mean, that's pretty out of place as well. Alright, here we go. So we want to do that, and then we want to freeze you. And that means, hopefully, that we can get some of the duo boon action going. As to whether I'm going to remember how to dodge all of her skills, that's unlikely.
Hang on, reloading. Come on, reload.
Oh. Long reload, you say. Oh. Oh, wait. I need you back. Go. Okay, yeah, that's her first phase. Okay, that's understandable. Got rid of a third of her health. Oh, that looks different visually. Now she gets the big damage, or the first of many big damage boosts. Ow. Okay, fortunately, we still had several resistances left at that point. If you just want to stand there and get electrocuted, it does add up a bit, not a ton. Does seem like she has more voice lines as well. Oh, that was an accidental Poseidon dash into her. It's like, why did she react to that? Why did she just take damage? It's actually a pretty sizable amount for what it's worth. Okay, was that her? I think the first time we phased her, yeah, it was based on how much damage we dealt to her. This time I think it was just so happened that we had spent enough time. Whoa!
Hey, babe. All right, enough.
Now she's gonna be very mad. Oh dear. Yep, that's the really bad part, is when you get stuck in a corner and you can't really dodge one of those attacks where she's just absolutely wailing on you. Because then the damage adds up very quickly. Oh, that was just silly to take.
One good shot. Blammo!
That is a funny line, though. I will admit, that is a pretty funny line.
Better hide.
Yup. Where'd you go? I did not see where you went. Oh, you brought friends. That's what you did. You might still be... You are still on. Okay, never mind.
One for the both of us.
Oh, okay. I was not ready for that. I was about to go in there. No, I wanted to freeze you. Where did you go? There you are. Stop dodging right as I'm about to do our combo. Stop dodging right as I'm trying to follow up with the other hit. And then I naturally miss woefully on that one. Oh, okay. There we go.
You always get the last laugh, babe.
Alright, no death defiance is necessary,
Get out of here.
which is nice, for sure.
A gift.
And that was the Icarus number of encounters that we just got, or the 7 encounters. Just so happened to proc right there. Okay, got more damage, 3 more damage from the static shocks. And Breaker Rush, is that the Poseidon Dash? Is that 150 or 180 before? Now up to 200.
Another golden apple.
Golden apple. And can we pick these up? No, we cannot. Okay.
Let's go, Freenos.
So we're up to Olympus, which is good. Because this is, of course, where the, at least previous, final boss of the game, going upward, used to be. And after that healing, we're just about at full health. So I don't think we need to pay too much attention to that. There is the new keepsake. Gain 1 random hammer upgrade that lasts for 10 encounters. That's pretty good. I mean, it is random, so it's kind of like this. In fact, it's very similar to this. And that you're just kind of accepting the fact that it might not be the perfect boon for your build, but you just roll with it. And when you do happen to get the right one at the right time, then it's fantastic, and you just hope that it, those encounters are line up well with boss fights and what have you. Definitely getting rid of this. Usually we would take the Luckier Tooth, and especially given how we have that Medea upgrade that deals a fixed percentage of damage against enemies when we use a Death Defiance, that gets stronger when we have the Luckier Tooth, so I think we're definitely going to go that route here. I'm not sure when the best time to use this would be. I feel like it might be kind of like the Embryo, where if you happen to be doing well health-wise mid-run, you throw it on. Or if you feel confident that you don't need the Death Defiance in the final floor, then you could go for it. And just, again, cross your fingers that you happen to get something good. Let's see what we get here. Remember, these have a delay before they show up. I do like this, though, for the extra boon. The armor, I mean, if this were max health, that'd be great, because, again, we have that extra max health value that I don't think we've been able to capitalize on yet from that previous Aphrodite boon. If we take this, we might just leave it at that. Let's go. So I think this is the floor that has changed the most. At least in terms of balance changes. I think many of the enemies have been weakened here, which kind of makes sense. I mean, there was a very noticeable difference between this floor and previous floors. Which, I mean, you can understand because it's the final floor. On the other hand, it was very, very pronounced.
The very mountain groans and rumbles underneath the feet of the princess. Its stonework shifting, not unlike her father's realm.
And if there is truly something after Prometheus now, that may or may not involve combat, then you need to not only beat Prometheus.
Now that you mention it.
Need to not only beat Prometheus, but also whatever comes after him. So that might also be a reason for doing it. But it felt like, if you compare Olympus to Tartarus, it felt like Olympus was much harder than Tartarus, or at least the enemies were dealing much more damage. We're definitely going to take this instead of the magic. Okay. Oh, okay. No, that did still work. For a second I thought I missed.
The Titan's fault.
Take that. Did count as us getting hit, or at least having to use one of our resistances. Just you right now, it is. And you get zapped. The damage is still not that high, to be honest with you. Even with the duo boon and the other synergies we have with the whole having enemies frozen in our cast. I mean, the duration is pretty long. Honestly, that's probably the biggest benefit of it, is that even if the damage from a single hit isn't that significant. Oh, that was just beyond stupid to walk into that as the enemy was frozen. But It's just the amount of time they spend in there. The damage does start to add up. It's not always enough to single-handedly take enemies out, or at least it doesn't feel like it, but maybe that's just because I'm being a little impatient with it.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Let's see. Another duo boon! Location rewards exclude max life, max magic, and coins. Boons are more likely to be at least rare. Okay, so this is actually interesting because you could make a pretty decent case that this is counterproductive for us because we have... Which one was it? This. We get 50% extra value on max health upgrades. So... I mean, we're fine with getting rid of the max magic upgrades at the end of a room. That's good, so we're deliberately avoiding those. But don't like missing the max life and then the max coins, or just coins. We don't have that much right now. I mean, we can still get some coins just from defeating enemies. So I guess that's not that much of a loss. Maybe we still take it. I mean, we haven't taken it yet. As in, we still need it for prophecy purposes. But the alternative would be we still have yet to get a basic attack boon. This is not the one we really had in mind. In fact, we were kind of deliberately trying to avoid it. But otherwise, after you strike a foe with your weapon, a spirit bubble may appear, giving us magic restored. Yeah. And either that or we do have a reroll, but it feels wrong to re-roll a duo. We'll take it. As I said, you could make the case that that is not nearly as good as a duo boon would typically be. But certainly do like the hammer upgrades. So I think we have to take that. I mean, we do have a lot of Zeus stuff going on, so Zeus synergies are probably... Of the various god and goddess boons, Zeus is probably #1 priority. But hammer probably still beats that. Here we go. Okay. If you can spam the special on frozen enemies, then yes, that does add up to the point where the damage is pretty huge. You just do it once, and it's not that significant. These guys are a little annoying because they're blocking most of these. Please stop blocking this. There we go. Still more. Oh, I missed. That was bad. So like these guys, for example, the automaton-like enemies, they were absolutely horrible in the past. So I'm hoping that they have gotten weakened. If they manage to corner you, then it is just insane how much damage they can deal. But if we play this patiently, at least in encounters like that where there's only a couple of enemies at a time, we can play it very safely. Freeze them and get the cast off. When your attack strike foes, your special has a 25% chance to fire automatically. Our special is pretty good. That's where we're getting the freeze coming from. So our special is a lot better than our attack. If you're blocking with your charge attack, no, not... again, these two. Can we re-roll these, or can we only roll boons from gods and goddesses? I think we can only I'm not seeing the option to re-roll here. So I think we take the launcher frame. I almost thought that said flame launcher. If you just, rearrange the order and some of the letters, that's basically what it is. I mean, that can be very good.
The power of Cassynth.
Okay, Demeter might be the second most valuable of all the gods and goddesses for us, because that's the other end of the duo boon, the duo boon that we care about. Hold on. It's, freeze effects also cause lightning bolts to repeatedly strike. So while enemies are frozen, every 0.5 seconds they take 30 damage. I wasn't sure if that applied every time we hit them with a... well, there's a freeze cooldown, so it's not like spamming the special means we're getting more lightning procs, because it almost felt like that in that previous encounter. You could argue if we were to upgrade some of our Zeus boons that might still be more valuable than Demeter, but getting a Demeter attack at this point, I think, would be perfectly acceptable. That's a bad time to have to use one of our resistances, but there you go. That's the frozen effect. So, again, if played patiently, and if you hit with the special first, then it can be very effective. However, wow, these guys in particular are the ones that just will not stop hitting me. They charge at close range, well, even at long range, to be fair. That's what he's trying to do right now, isn't it? I think you just kind of need to play them differently relative to other enemies. They're just not getting frozen either. What the heck?
Message for me.
Okay, there's the extra Hermes boon, but we took a lot of damage in that encounter. A lot of damage.
Hear me, on my authority.
Okay, let's see. After remaining inactive for 1 second, restore magic. No thank you. Cast, also create a gust. We saw this. It's not that big of a boost to our cast, but our cast is strong, so just doing anything to make it even stronger is nice. Whenever you gather resources from a location, heal, get some healing, right? Or 12% healing right now. I mean, honestly, we took enough damage. You could make the case that is worth considering on this occasion. I think we might still do this, though. We can re-roll now, I think. Oh, we also have higher chance of higher rarity stuff from that duo boon we got from Poseidon and... who was it? Poseidon plus Demeter? Improved rarity chance 45. Is that independent of the whole boons are more likely to be at least rare? Or is that... because basically, does that mean we have a higher chance of getting epic and legendary and duo boons, or is it only for rare? Because like all of these are rarity right now, but if we re-roll, might we just get the same things but higher rarity, or is that duo boon not actually contributing to that map? I'm not sure. I think we probably... this is the safe option. This is not that great value. So you know what? Sure, we'll do this. Get this, which is more Poseidon. Get Poseidon attack. Still not really the attack I would like to see. I would prefer Demeter. Might still have a chance to make that happen later, but oh man, these alternatives are pretty bad. We might reroll now. Because this is charged. This is magic, which doesn't really help us because we're not doing anything with charges right now, and so basically the only thing that helps us is the Poseidon attack, which I don't... well, I mean, we didn't really end up pursuing Aphrodite much at all. So if that was the reason why we didn't want the attack boon... but now it's more so a matter of getting the freeze from our attack gives us another way to help set up the duo boon. So I think we're going to reroll here nonetheless.
Let's see how this goes.
Still see this. Any minor finds are worth more, and we receive some of that stuff now. Okay. It does give us healing. That's the primary reason to do this. And it's also harder for us to get gold now. If we had known this was going to be an option, then obviously we probably would have taken the other option previously from Demeter. But except hold on, with a shop here, it's not a bad time to get extra coins. Receive choice of 1 out of 3 boons from Hermes. Oh, specifically Hermes. Okay, hold on. This is just under 300. We can afford all these things. We're not desperate for healing anymore, but the fact that this only arrives after 3 encounters means that could be well timed. Could be coming right when we need some more health, and then this, we get the extra value from it. So I think we're gonna do this across the board. Oh, I missed that. Gives us max magic. Fantastic. Okay. Ooh, they're both mini-bosses. We have no choice but to take a mini-boss. I don't think we've ever done a mini-boss on Olympus. We've always deliberately avoided them because we assumed they were going to be difficult, and we didn't want to take those risks before... soon before the final boss. Well, now we don't have a choice. As I was saying before, I think Zeus is probably the most valuable god or goddess for us, unless you take this as possibly our last chance to get the Aphrodite attack, which, I mean, this still might not be the right time. It might be too late to be going that route. So we'll go the Zeus route. I'm more concerned about what the heck this enemy is going to be, though, because we've never seen this before. And it's a big dragon, and that does scare me. Okay, do you act any differently than the other dragons, or are you functionally just a bigger one with way more health and way more area of effect? If that is the case, then that's at least fairly straightforward. Okay, that's kind of different. At least we haven't seen you do that yet. I think the freeze is really paying off. I think that's really slowing you down. To an extent that I'm probably not fully appreciating, because I don't have to fight you at your normal speed. That missed. But this is another great example of, okay, well, don't do that. I was going to say another great example of just keep him in the cast, poke him occasionally with the special, and the damage adds up. We'll really see what you are no longer armored. This is significant, because it means that theoretically we can now stagger you, which I would very much like to do, except I would like to do it when you are in the cast and frozen. Like this. He's doing something. There we go. Alright, we didn't take that much damage, to be honest. And we immediately get that Hermes boon that we purchased, because that only had to wait one room before it arrived.
In the name of Hades.
This is the Zeus one, though. Can swap... Ooh, the Poseidon dash for Zeus dash. Dashing causes surrounding foes to be struck by lightning bolts. The damage is less, but instead of hitting once, it can hit every 0.35 seconds, and you don't have to run straight into them. It's just surrounding foes. And then could that also be another way... Not for this, but for this hold... No, not that one. Where are you? You. Freeze effects also cause lightning bolts to repeatedly strike. Okay, that doesn't technically relate to any of the lightning-based abilities, so it doesn't make that any stronger. Zeus attack. Lightning bolt effects may strike 2 times. That, we have enough lightning effects now that honestly that might be the best. I think we do that. It's only a 20% chance, but we have so many lightning effects, and enemies are getting hit by it so many times. If they're frozen in the cast, then that could proc a whole bunch. So I think we do that.
No getting used to that.
And then you...
Olympus, I accept this message.
Let's see. This is not the right time for this. Chance-based effects are more likely to occur except for dodge and daze. That really works with what we just picked up. So I am very tempted to take that to give us a humongous chance of bonus bolts. Otherwise, each time you slay a foe, get more damage. If we were more of a clear speed build, that could be really good, but we're more of a slow and steady play it safe type build, so I think we do this, and that could be really effective. So I think that room proved to be very beneficial for us rewards-wise. We saw an encounter for the first time. I'm sure this encounter... Well, actually... I think they did add more of these mini-boss type encounters, so there's a chance this is new. I can't really say one way or another for sure, because we deliberately avoided those rooms in the past. I hate these guys. The Burning Passion. You didn't die. And also those other guys immediately were able to hit us. It's these charge dudes that I also hate. Okay, I'm also stuck. Oh my goodness. We are basically dead! I think that still speaks to how strong these guys are. I still think they are woefully misbalanced. I think that's insane. I think that's kind of ridiculous how much damage those guys deal. I mean, fortunately, we deal kind of ridiculous damage with this combo now. I think due in large part to those bonus electric effects that we are now applying. Ooh, I did not expect there to be more zombie enemies as well. I thought it was just going to be the automatons at this point. Nope, that was not close enough to hit you either. Yeah, so I mean, obviously the game is still in early access, and it's not as if the game is perfect at this point, or not as if the current state of balance is going to be the state of balance forevermore, but it does still feel like there are some enemies, particularly on this floor, which, given how it is still the newest floor, unless there is a floor after this now, makes some sense that they've had the least time to balance these ones, but it still feels like, yeah, you know, some of the stuff is not quite right. Okay, so more damage on the special. Remember, we are getting the damage from the special directly, but also our attack sometimes triggers the special because of a hammer boon that we got. Not this one, but the other one, wherever it might be. Here. Oh, is this? That got higher probability as well from you. Wow, this was incredible. So, wait, what is our chance of this happening now? It was 20%, now it's 30%. So I think that means this is factoring in the bonus. It already considers the bonus from that Hermes boon. Honestly, well, it felt like it was even more than this. I mean, both of these are really useful for us. Guess we go here still? Okay, we don't want that. We could certainly use Aphrodite. I'm a little disappointed that we had to use a Death Defiance there. Oh.
Must be the mountain pass my incantation helped me find.
Oh. Did we recently purchase this type of room?
An alcove unafflicted by the toil on the otherwise besieged Olympus Heights invites the princess of the underworld to catch what little breath remains to her for now.
Can't rest here, not for long.
Well, is this a healing pool? Or is it just a pool? At the very least, we're getting this.
In the name of Hades.
There is the Aphrodite attack, and it is 100% damage, which is pretty humongous, so that is why we were intrigued by it before. And using that still gives us a 38% chance? 38% chance of getting the special to go off, so that is very good. Weak gets inflicted on nearby foes, which is kind of nice defensively. We don't care much about the magic restoration. We saw that before. Deal more damage while you have at least 80% health. That bonus is doubled. So it turns into 24% damage. I think we're doing this. We are starting to run out of time to pick up the attack boon. You're not letting us leave this room right now, I'm noticing. Which makes me think that there is a place that... There we go. To heal ourselves. So, okay, in that case, we might have gotten up to 20% health, but... Or rather, at 80% health, but... Not entirely sure, and still, I don't think that would have beaten the alternative. We are about to get... Is this healing? If so, I mean, who knows? We might still take more damage from the next encounter. Probably will. And then that... Okay. Yeah, that's healing. This is max health. Ooh. That looks like a nasty combo. Fortunately, we play it slowly and keep our distance still. We can play it fairly safe, as we theoretically have previously established. You stay right there. Right, I do like the combo that we have going on here. It's maybe not quite the play style that I would usually go with, but I mean, that is nice to sometimes have something that mixes up the approach you take. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. These guys are strong, too. Is that the last one? Might be.
You call?
Okay.
Cheers, Hermes.
Ooh, and we get these as well. Okay, so there's the healing, which, I mean, is a little overkill, but not crazy. Okay, let's take this first, just in case it happens to interact in some way with the other stuff.
Can take many different forms. As not all of us are suitably prepared or even built to face significant ordeals. Take, for instance, fairest Aphrodite over here.
Did we just get a third duo boom?
Oh, Lady Demeter.
I think we did.
That's patently untrue. I may be more a lover than a fighter, but that doesn't mean I won't mangle the faces of our foes if that is what it takes to get them to back off. Now, why don't we show your granddaughter how well we get along?
Okay. What? Excuse me? Deal more damage the more health you have. Plus 10% damage per 100 life. We don't have... Well, that's only 10% damage bonus, for what it's worth. We also have the legendary from Demeter. This is, okay, let's see. Freeze afflicted foes shatter at 10% health, dealing 100 damage in an area. We haven't taken this. We have taken Hardy Appetite before. I think we're taking Winter Harvest, to be honest with you, but, oh man, I wish we could take both of these. Wow. This would have been a third duo boon, which I honestly didn't even think was possible. But, you know, we'll take 2 duos and a legendary instead, I guess. Well, what's the alternative? Magic Restoration? Thanks, but no thanks. We're taking this.
Cold comfort.
Alright. Wow. I mean, yes, healing would have given us a little more damage out of that duo boon, but again, I just don't think it would have been enough to, I think this is a little more valuable. I mean, if they shatter... Does that mean that they automatically die at 10% health if they are afflicted by a freeze? And surrounding enemies take 100 damage? Or does it only damage enemies? Or maybe in Path of Exile, Shatter is also a thing, and I'm probably kind of conflating those a bit. Double Strike. What is that? Oh, okay, we're up to 42% chance. Storm Ring, I think that's our cast. Yeah, okay. Probably some diminishing returns there, but still looking pretty solid. Okay. Any other options here? Doesn't look like it, so I think we're definitely going to go this route in that case. There's a lot of enemies over there. If we can shatter some of them, that could be quite interesting. Still not really sure if the shatter effect automatically kills the enemy. Maybe not, because I think it would have killed them in that case. Oh, stop that. Ooh, there's more of them. Oh, this is going to turn into a really nasty encounter. Okay. Whole bunch of enemies that I hate. I thought I was hiding safely behind that, and that goes for so long. I'm telling you, man, it's not just the amount of damage, it's just mechanically. The enemies on this floor are so much stronger. It's kind of insane. Still, to me, it still feels kind of, I was going to say woefully balanced, but I think the one argument I can think of, one potentially compelling argument that comes to mind, is that at least at the moment, there's one fewer floor going upward than there is going downward. So that means you have more total enemies you need to fight when you go down. So maybe the individual enemies are weaker, but you have to fight more of them, whereas going up, individual enemies stronger, but you fight fewer of them.
Vitality.
And we do get more value out of that extra max life. I mean, still feels like for that to be the price of a boon plus a shop purchase, only to give us a little bit more life, doesn't feel like that was all that useful, but let's see what we get here. If you strike foes with your weapon, Spirit Bubble may appear. No, thank you. Hit surrounding foes with a powerful splash as they start to strike. Ooh. We're okay with priming more magic, as long as we're okay with never using any magic. And that uses magic. So, I mean, if this potentially blocks enemies from hitting us by hitting them and knocking them back, then I'm all for it.
Adequate.
Okay. Then this... Oh. I was about to say this could be the penultimate room even. It's maybe a little early, but the fact that we're seeing a mini shop here seems odd in that. Let's see what we have, because we otherwise might be about to go into the other shop. Is this basically just a trap and these things are never going to show up? Because that truly is going to be the penultimate room? I don't remember if we've seen that happen before. That feels kind of mean in that case. This is the thing that we would want. It is the most expensive. I mean, if we purchase this, we're at about $225, not quite, which means we could get a full boon. We couldn't quite afford a, oh well. Hold on. It would be $225, yeah. We could afford a boon, and that's pretty much it. If we go that route, otherwise we could get almost 2 hearts, centaur hearts. Anything less than that, we would be able to afford 2 of them. Looking for gold urns to see if we can change that math ever so slightly. I think we'll take our chances on it. We could, of course, choose to have this arrive immediately, in which case we can definitely make sure that that arrives in time. Can we see what room we're on? Location 41. I don't remember how many rooms there are on this floor. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go in here. This might be the last room, or the penultimate room. I think it is. Okay, so we're just never gonna see what we got from... Yeah, okay. That's unfortunate. We wasted that money. And, except, hold on.
Coin for Charon.
No, okay, so we shouldn't have... We've messed up several shops now. Because if we did not purchase anything there, we could have gotten this and this. Now we would have enough to go heart plus magic, but we don't care at all about the magic, so... Tell you the truth. You could make a case Poseidon is less valuable than a heart right now, because what is Poseidon going to give us? There's a bunch of stuff that gives magic-related things, and we don't care about those. We passed on them many times before. There might be 1 or 2 that gives us things... I think there's 1 more that gives us something kind of like this. That more is a passive reward-based, like a meta reward of sorts, but doesn't directly affect combat. I'm not really sure there's that much that helps us there. This is giving us 38 life, which is a little bit better. Maybe, if there are things after this encounter, then we could actually get this to show up, but otherwise, no. Okay, I think we're taking this, to be honest with you. Definitely can't afford that. I mean, we could take that, but it does basically nothing for us, so I think we're just going to pass, and maybe there will be reason to spend gold after. We don't know, because apparently there's something after Prometheus, but now we need to defeat Prometheus, which is not a given.
What do you know?
He has golden urns in here.
Capability and can anticipate your every move, but there are times my mind leads me astray, you see. Anticipating possibilities that do not come to pass, resulting in all too many mistakes.
And that is a question that we asked ourselves before, is how does a guy who can predict the future ever lose a fight? And, okay, that does actually make a lot of sense.
Mistakes such as revealing this to me, or being here at all. Have you learned nothing from your past imprisonment?
So it has been a while since we last fought Prometheus, so I am pretty concerned about how I'm going to do here. Hopefully, we do have a very strong build at this point, so hopefully that will carry us, but we shall see.
To be imprisoned is to be denied the opportunity to learn. A cruel form of torture in itself, but I did learn something, yes. I cannot break.
Oh. So I think Prometheus, theoretically, is another enemy who has been weakened a fair bit, which, again, kind of sort of makes sense, given how there's some kind of sort of stuff now that happens after him. We don't know what those things are, but we know that they theoretically exist. What did you just say to us? Did you just say a very bad word to us? Because it sounded like it. Completely frozen? Kind of. Oh, I missed. Not sure why he just did that to himself. That seemed a little bit odd. Okay, hold on. This is powerful, but slow. And it does stay there for a while, and ideally we would not have set that basically in the middle of the arena. Okay, now he's doing this. Okay, this is important.
Waves of flame.
Avoid top, then go top, then go bottom. Avoid top, then go bottom. Okay. And that deals tons of damage. Let's try to put it off to the side if possible. Where'd you go? Oh, you're right behind me. That's where you went. Okay, get the combo going. Ideally. Haven't really had many opportunities to just straight up attack him. Oh, he brought friends, and I hate these friends. With a burning passion. Go away. Go away. I hate you so much. I think they're all gone now. Try to set this in the corner. If possible. Not really the corner that I was going for, but we'll take it. Oh, that was very bad. I just ate all of that, so I got greedy. Oh, again. Okay, hold on. Bottom. Not bottom. Top. Middle. Bottom. Not bottom. Top. Middle. I think it was not middle. I don't remember. Okay. Whew. Glad we did not mess that up. That was, I think, his last of those. I think. I think we're still best off when we play this patiently. Just go, well, ideally you do that straight on him. Hit him with that, and then you do that. Maybe briefly go into the basic attack. But it is risky. Some of his friends go away if we kill him, which I think might still make that the most efficient way to go here. But if we use Death Defiance, he probably dies, or he just dies right now.
I am beaten, but you cannot afford to give chase. My strength shall return.
Did we use any Death Defiances there? That might actually have been one of our best Prometheus fights. I mean, I do really like this build. And he is down. This might already... Did we see that before? That might be new. But the game used to just... Oh, right, we get this too. Very nice. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to get that, but the game used to basically give us this forced death after this fight because there wasn't anything after facing Prometheus, but now that's no longer the case. Hopefully it's either more along the lines of what happens when you go down and defeat Kronos, or, I mean, there might be another floor, I don't know. I don't think there is, but we're about to see.
The summit's just ahead.
Summit. But we do still heal, which makes me think there might be a full-blown floor. It is allowing us to change keepsakes. We did not end up using the Luckier Tooth. As I said, we actually, I don't think, used any Death Defiances there. Still not quite sure what to make of this. Maybe it's a full-blown floor. We don't need this healing. We do benefit a lot from that, and from this. We can't afford both of them, though. Guess we'll take this. Play it a little bit safe. As for what happens now, your guess is as good as mine.
This storm.
Oh, it is the summit.
At first, the storm which now engulfs the summit of Olympus may appear to have been wrought by gods in their defense, but its monstrosity belies a far more sinister nature.
Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that.
Let's locate the source.
So do we have to fight our way through? We very well may. I think any of those are golden. Proceed. Okay, I think it's a full-blown floor. Yeah. At least there are enemies here. Don't know anything about them. But it does seem like Prometheus is not the final boss. Going up. This music is loud. It might be good, but the first thing I'm noticing is that it is definitely loud. Also, what the heck is that thing? They look like aliens. See you hiding under the ground, kind of, sort of. Ow. Alright, we took a fair share of damage from that. New plant? Maybe? That we just picked up? I'm not really sure. Alright, we proceed somewhere and do something. Not really sure what. Ow. What the heck is that? And also, probably don't run into that. We have no choice but to hit you with ranged attacks. Fortunately, we can do this.
More coming.
Is that big monster gonna attack us again? I mean, I can think of one thing in particular. Oh dear. One thing in particular that could be, because what if a Titan is not the final boss, then what would the final boss be, right? It's a tough question to answer.
You shouldn't have crossed me.
Something even stronger than a Titan? I mean, Kronos is a Titan, and he's the final boss going down. Deal more damage while you have at least 80%. We saw this before, we didn't opt to take it. Or we go for the more... Honestly, you might go the defensive route with Lammergane. Not for the magic restoration, just so that nearby enemies do 30% less damage to us. Because I don't know what we're dealing with here. Now we do get to... Oh, dear. We get to choose which room. We did not get to choose last time, and it does show us what the reward is. They are both mini-bosses, though, which I do not like to see. Triple Palm or higher rarity Zeus. I don't know, man. I do not know. Okay. What else? We have a lot of good stuff going on for Zeus. Is there any particular boon that we're obviously missing, though? I mean, if we could get a legendary Zeus boon, that'd be great, but I don't know if that's, it's probably too much to ask for. It might not, I didn't think you could get this many, duo plus legendary boons in the same run, so it might just be flat out impossible for us to get a second legendary at this point, so I kind of don't want to rely on that, but maybe we go for it nonetheless. And what is this going to be? I don't know what that is. Yeah, question mark, I agree. What? What the heck is this thing? It doesn't look like anything we've seen before, I can tell you that much. Just trying to keep my distance as much as possible. We can change directions, yep. Doesn't just run in a straight line. That is good to know. Try not to get trapped in a corner in that case. Again, just getting the passive damage adding up from cast plus special is definitely ideal. Oh, okay. And so, even if this is relatively slow, I think that is still the best route for us to take, best strategy for us at this point. We don't exactly know what we're dealing with here. I think the freeze is helping us to outrun him as well, in all likelihood. Probably underrating the value of that, once again. But I mean, these are just totally different kinds of creatures altogether. Looks like we've stepped outside the realm of Greek mythology and into Leviathan-like Lovecraftian monsters. Cthulhu. Ooh, I got stuck in the corner. Okay, nope. If it's any consolation, he is breaking a lot of these barriers that I was previously getting stuck on. Oh, that was bad. And he stuns us. Okay, that's also good to know. Was that the final boss? I don't know. That's a dramatic death animation, the likes of which we usually only see from floor bosses. This showed up as if it were a mini-boss.
Oh no.
When we entered the room, at least.
Good.
More max health. We didn't have to use Death Defiance, thankfully, although he did ultimately deal a fair bit of damage to us. What do we get from this? Yeah, we don't want this. Chain Lightning deals more damage and bounces up to 3 additional times. I do like that. After you take damage, revenge damage of the lightning variety. Wait. Foes struck by lightning, and again 75% of the time. Remember, that is factoring in already this. But, I mean, that's pretty nice. Especially if we assume we're going to take a fair bit of damage here. I mean, this is best case scenario when you don't take damage. Obviously, if you do take damage. And this, is more irrelevant. I think we probably do still go this route, but if we could get both, that would be ideal, of course. So that was not the final boss. Again, didn't look like it going in here, but the whole animation at the end, or whatever you want to call it. Cutscene, practically. Oh. Oh, no. More crazy monsters that are making cameo appearances here. Oh, you are armored, and so I'm not staggering you, and so you did hit me several times. Those look like serpent scales.
What is all this?
It's a great question. That did give us what counted as extra fire boons. A lot of water and air, but nothing that is scaling based on that yet. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I see that big horn in the ground that made it seem like, ow. It was gonna pop up and annihilate us, and we are getting hit by a bunch of things. Okay.
There.
We are still getting that, helping us out. Flutter Strike, is that our basic attack? It is. And that does add up. Storm Ring, is this again? I mean, we'll take it. Oh no, another mini-boss. This one, the reward, not so great, in all likelihood. I mean, we do still have 3 Death Defiances if you factor in the Luckier Tooth, which is a bit of a comfort, but I mean, the mini-boss last time was basically a full-blown boss, so we'll see what this one's like.
More infestation.
Infestation, you say? Oh no. That's the spine from Transistor. For what it's worth. You may not know this if you didn't play the previous game, the second game that these developers made, but this enemy looks a whole lot like a boss from that game. assuming those are probably things that we want to destroy. Or not. Or we want to do everything we can to stay away from them. Okay, I am also not sure if we wanted to stand in that circle or out of that circle. We are also about to use a Death Defiance. But that was, I mean, to be expected. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. That was luck. Luck that I dodged that, and then I got greedy and attacked more than I should have. Okay, this again. Dodge that way, and there's going to be another one going this way. That is technically the biggest window we have to attack him. And if he does catch up to you, also does this. Those guys will hurt you a lot if you do walk into them, and then because this guy chases you around, it's a little, oh, that looks like a big blast. Kamehameha. It was. I don't know how I am technically supposed to dodge that. Oh, you are very persistent, even if you hit me. You follow up. You follow up. Oh my god. I was technically sprinting. I'm surprised I wasn't sprinting in prior occasions. In that case, I didn't see what you were doing. That's gonna do this. We're gonna get another one. Do this. Try to hit you. And then you're very fast. That was not what I wanted. That was also not what I want. You're doing the Kamehameha? I don't know how you block the Kamehameha. I don't know what you do, except when you technically still have a resistance remaining on your dodge. Oh, I forgot about that one! Slash mistimed it. Okay, this is a trap I'm trying to set for you. Except you didn't fall for it. We got him. Okay. We had to use, what, one Death Defiance in almost a second? We did repel that monster, though. We still don't know what these monsters really are. Typhon. Okay, we get... Did we get a name drop for the other one? With 8 health? Oh my god.
I bid you shine for me again tonight.
This is our first Selene.
Knight's Veil and final defense, now yours. You bear a grave responsibility to wield it properly, or unleash such destruction as can blot out the sun.
So...
Please make your choice.
Oh, that looks just like a... Oh, what is that famous... Is it the Sistine Chapel that has that very famous... I might be... Right, nah, it might be. With its... I forget what the name of it is, but God reaching out to touch... Who is it? Adam, I assume? Don't quote me on that, but it's very similar to an extremely famous painting, okay? Alright, so as for these upgrades, we have very little magic to work with, and so we might be able to use one of these ones. No, I mean, to be honest, these are probably completely irrelevant. Hex raises last susceptible foe, Hex makes everything else move slower, Hex blasts in a large area. Honestly, if anything, we might just need to take this one because it costs the least amount of magic to use, and so it's the only one we have any chance of being able to use.
Bloom.
And we still can't use it, so it really does not matter. Okay. It's Charon. That's good, I guess. Theoretically, no enemies in here. Theoretically. So I'm still not 100% sure about that.
Hey! Hermes, you're here.
Hermes. Whoa. Hello. This is our first time ever meeting. Well, not ever meeting a god or goddess in the flesh, so to speak, because some of the people we meet along the way have been gods and goddesses, but usually the ones that give you boons do not show up directly. I guess Athena has, Hades, although he's kind of a little bit different. But this is interesting to see you arrive all of a sudden.
You made it all the way up here. That's great. Except what isn't great is Typhon. You've run into him already, probably. A mountain-sized monstrosity and all his brood?
Yeah. So he's the final big baddie, isn't he?
This storm, this infestation. All of this is Typhon's doing then. How did he get here? How do we stop him?
Great question. Also, I am noticing out of the corner of my eye how it is a super shop. There are a bunch of things to buy, which probably means this is the penultimate room before the final boss. But we're not going to be able to buy that much stuff here.
No easy answers for you, except Gramps brought this on us, all part of his plan. The others can hold fast a while in Pop's palace, but they need your help. I better report to Heck. Be safe.
You too.
Okay. Those golden? Those are golden. That does help a bit. Because we could certainly use some healing. I can tell you that much. This might have to be priority number 1. It's definitely not going to be that, even if that technically might then make it possible for us to use our Hex. So, let's see, we can do this plus this, I think is the best for us. Ooh.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, let's see. Whenever you clear through encounters, a random boon gains... Oh, steady growth? Wait, oh, they renamed this. And they might have reworked it as well? Used to be rare crop. Whenever you clear enough encounters, a random boon of yours gains rarity. Doesn't reset the rarity anymore. It used to do that, unless that is truly a different type of boon altogether. But that's kind of irrelevant on this occasion, because obviously if we're about to go into the last encounter, this is useless. Your charge attack deals more damage, but uses additional magic. Not all that useful right now. Gain a barrier that stops 1 instance of damage in each location, but prime 15 magic. We'll take it.
I see.
I wasn't sure if you said icy or I see. And we do this, and then unfortunately we can't quite afford that unless there happens to be another golden urn somewhere. And what is this? The 3rd time we've come extremely close to being able to afford one more thing at a shop, but come up just short. Oh, hold on. That one did have gold in it. Okay, never mind. On this occasion, we actually did manage to get enough monies. Okay, but also we haven't really talked about the lore, the plot. So Typhon is actually the big bad boss that apparently Hermes was saying was part of Kronos' plan all along. I mean, obviously we hadn't heard any mention of it until just now. There, I guess, was a storm. I mean, at least on this floor, there was a storm, and so apparently Typhon was actually the one behind it. And so I guess there's that. It was sort of a hint of sorts, but I also don't really know anything about Typhon, other than that apparently it is some incredibly powerful being. So, here goes nothing.
This is it.
Needless to say, I don't expect us to succeed here, but hopefully we can at least learn a bit about what this is all like. Father of all monsters. Oh.
The father of all monsters.
That's quite a title you got there. I can't help but notice you don't seem to have a health bar. At least you did at one point in time.
Can't sense his life force at all.
Yeah,
It's just another foe.
Is that one of his things? Oh, that just used all of our ways to resist, or almost all of our... Did that have a magnet-like effect? It might have. So it seems like that's just one of his things, is that you just can never see his life bar, which is an interesting little quirk. I don't know how you're actually supposed to dodge that attack. Besides maybe being super close to him. But again, we're basically just going to be relying on the combo from our duo boon. Also, we're resisting a bunch of stuff here. More than I would have expected to be able to resist at this point. It's really hard to know how we're doing.
He's gone into the storm.
Oh, okay, well I do recognize those types of enemies. I assume we probably need to kill them? And now he's back, kinda, sorta. That does suck him in like a vacuum cleaner. Might be kind of hard for you to tell, but I have to fight that effect. Okay, that's how much damage that does. We did actually get hit by it that time. Okay, that also deals a ton of damage. really wishes his friends were not still here. Oh my god. Look at that one. Except, oh, that actually tells you how much health he has. We use the Death Defiance and it gets rid of 15% of his health. Which means we learned what the equivalent of 15% of his health is. Oh? Could that have saved us? Zeus! Get him, Zeus!
Now, young lady, finish this.
I don't know. There's a limit to how much time we have here? It wasn't enough! No! That was our chance.
And fall back to the palace. Fight!
What he's doing. It doesn't look good.
He's growing angrier, or weakening.
He does kind of seem to be weakening, perhaps. We don't have any Death Defiances left to give us the free damage, though. No! That still hit us. It's hard to avoid because it's fast. And just the passive damage. Oh, he's doing something. Back to one of these phases. No! We're almost dead! Dodge out of it! No! I couldn't quite get the timing right. Oh! I feel like we actually got kind of close. I think the auto damage when we use Death Defiance actually turned out to be a really big factor for what it's worth. If we didn't have to, we used one Death Defiance fairly early on something we wish we didn't have to use it on. I forget what it was, but if we had one more, I don't know, might have been a difference maker. Then we also did come very close to having to use a Death Defiance in one more Death Defiance at least leading up to that fight. I can't remember if we used any on that floor before the final encounter, but okay. That is now the final fight going up, and we had a really strong build. It's hard to know exactly how well we did in that fight, but it seemed like we did fairly well. And for that reason, seems like, that's going to be a pretty tricky encounter at the end there and might require that you have a really strong build or take quite some time to learn the mechanics.
I've trained to slay Kronos, not the father of all monsters. What do I do?
Yeah, so there was not that much foreshadowing leading up to Typhon, it feels like.
Are you growing more motivated to find your family, or merely growing more despondent? See you all again in a few nights.
You who ventured into my abode shall suffer an eternity of torment for what you have done. Unless, of course, you are prepared to grant my dying wish.
Oh?
Forgive my insolent spirit and name your price. I am prepared to do your bidding. Within reason, anyway.
Then swear to me that you shall do my bidding now. Specifically,
I haven't worked out the dying wish part yet. Asked you to fetch my lover's bones? Something like that?
I don't know, that was pretty convincing, Dora.
Just keep me posted.
She's improving. Alright, now I have to imagine some people should have some things to say about that.
If I may, my sisters told me of a certain prophecy even I thought would never come to pass. That Olympus would once again face the fury of the father of all monsters, and their conflict would shake the world to its core. And now it's happening.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. It just seems like it, at least after having completed the fight with Prometheus a few times, it became clearer to us how Prometheus played into Kronos' plan. At first, it wasn't obvious, because we didn't really have any mention of him leading up to the fight either. But Hermes just sort of mentioned in passing, oh no, this was part of Kronos' plan all along, apparently. So I'm hoping that that gets woven in more, and it becomes clearer how Typhon and Kronos are related, because right now it kind of just seems like we have Titans are one of our what we had originally thought were our primary enemies, Kronos and Prometheus, and then there's just sort of like, these crazy eldritch horror monsters that are kind of in a different category, but they also exist. And apparently they are either just more powerful and therefore actually the primary opponent that we are facing, or they somehow truly are working with Kronos. But that just doesn't seem clear how or why that would be the case.
You mean you knew Typhon's attack was a real possibility? Why didn't you warn us? We could have prepared.
I was not permitted to warn you. Had I done so, it merely would have expedited an outcome I now realize was bound to happen anyway. Though perhaps your implication is correct, and this is all my fault.
Who knows, Moros?
What? How is this all your fault?
Probably not.
Unless you aided Kronos in awakening the most notorious fiend the gods ever faced, I don't see how you had anything to do with this.
Unraveling a fateful bond. I abetted your plans to gain the surface. The awakening of Typhon. Perhaps it's a punishment. And a reminder never to defy the fates. Princess, please forgive me.
Who knows? Who knows?
Nonsense. Kronos did this, not you.
Yeah, probably.
This wasn't on the list before.
Which one? Probably something having to do with Typhon. Daughter of the god of the dead shall form a bond with several animal familiars. 2 out of 3. Okay, so we need one more of those. But... is that really the one that's new? This one, which is locate the 3 fates, which we still have yet to do, but...
Do let me know if anything's amiss.
Oh, okay. I saw mention in the patch notes of how some shades would interact with you a little bit more if you salute them.
Gone.
What is that?
The moon oft shines particularly
It's like a
bright
deer.
in one fair corner of the crossroads, where the princess of the underworld may always clear her thoughts and have a moment's peace.
And listen to the frogs.
Okay. Does it not look like a stone deer? And no one over here past the deer. What about over here? Wait.
Greetings, Record Keeper.
Oh, this is just not where you used to be, was it? I don't think. Not that we're about to spend all this time analyzing our stats, but... Okay. And I don't remember, did Dora pop up here and give us the option to decorate this area previously?
So, what's up?
Not sure if she did or
You're
not.
here, Lord Charon.
Charon? Okay.
I reached the summit of Olympus finally. They're fighting back against Typhon himself. Perhaps you knew already.
I mean, Charon doesn't even go to Olympus, let alone the summit.
He's quite enormous, yes.
Oh.
Right on time.
I don't even remember what that is. Is that just new art? For an item that we yes, okay. This used to look different, which honestly I think is good, because this used to look really similar to the wool item. Enough so that it, at least before we knew that they were two distinct things, I'm pretty sure we just kind of lumped them both together, or at least I lumped them both together in my head. So I'm glad it is a little more distinct at this point. I think we have at least one fish we can sell here. Let's see. You. The crab.
Careful with this one.
Okay, is there anything, though, that we would actually want to purchase? Oh. Limited quantity of 1. Was this showing up before? And this? Not sure if it did. I mean, these are valuable, rare items. So, kind of do want to pick them. Oh, okay, well, they're also exorbitantly expensive. Understandably, I suppose. But okay, maybe we just see if there's anything else. Well, is there any reason why we would need to spend bones on anything else in the near future. We don't have any nectar. It'd be kind of nice to pick up one nectar just so that we can, if we do encounter new people, still have the chance to gift them a nectar. Yeah, because if we go, I mean, I guess there's no real rush on the Stardust or the, what's it called, Nightmare side of things. So why don't we get a nectar?
Appreciate the deal.
Then we're at least prepared. And we do this, we're basically broke. We do this, we're not quite broke. Maybe we do Stardust in case we're looking to upgrade an Arcana card and we need a little more Moon Dust or Fate Fabric or something like that, because that does happen sometimes. So we'll do this.
I'll take the special.
It is a special, so that does make sense. I like that line. I'm pretty sure that's new. Or at least we haven't heard it before. I think we probably still look to wait till we can get either the Fate Fabric or ideally more Moon Dust, since those tend to be
Nemesis
more
must have a
valuable
head
to us.
start.
No Nemesis.
A moment, Goddess.
Yes.
You've Typhon to contend with on that mountaintop, Goddess. Our shades say he's near the sides of a mountain himself. Please tell me that's hyperbole on their part.
You see, he's so big that we don't even know how much health he has. Although, technically, if we do some math, we can figure it out.
Well, to put it in perspective, by my estimation, he's at least 100 times the size of Polyphemus. Though I've not had the opportunity to take his measure properly.
You'll take his measure yet, I reckon. It's what you've done with every other foe you've faced thus far. Our shades and the good witch think it unwise to take on such a threat yourself, but you're not planning to back down, are you?
No.
Good.
Hey.
Here,
Nice.
now.
Oh. Okay. Yes, we will. However, that's just also making me think back to, you know, what are things that we can do to be better against him in the future. As I said, I think we had a really strong build, at least in terms of passive damage. Sure, it didn't get huge bursts of damage, but the total aggregate damage from all the lightning bolts we had, when we combined that with the freeze effect and just dodged around the arena while that was happening, that definitely did add up quite a bit. And then we did have some pretty huge burst damage from having that Medea boon, if it technically counts as a boon, that dealt 15% damage to him whenever we used a Death Defiance. If we didn't have that, that probably would have made a really big difference. So, I mean, that's probably the best thing to have against him, or one of, if not the best thing to have against him by a pretty huge margin. So I don't know if that now means anytime we go to the surface, we need to always be looking for that specific boon. I kind of hope not, because then it feels like, you know, if there's only one perfectly optimized way to beat him and everything else is just so much worse, then it feels like, you know, you kind of need to have stuff be more well balanced than that. But obviously it's far too early to be able to say that with any sort of definitiveness.
Delicious.
We concoct anything new,
No way
perhaps?
of knowing how much life force Typhon has. Just have to slay him anyway.
Oh, might we be able to get something that changes that so that we can see his life force? Re-energize the god statues on Mount Olympus, which you may use to repel your foes, is interesting. So this does require some of the new items that we got, that S scales. So those I think we probably need to be pretty protective of, but this could be very effective. I mean, Olympus, even Olympus, not the summit, Olympus itself, the second to last floor, is still quite difficult, so having anything to give us more advantages there would still be helpful. Cause locations that sometimes contain a moon monument or unseen sigil. That means moon monument or stones that grant magical rewards if you vanquish a powerful foe haunting them. Oh, so it's like an optional mini boss? Something like that? Gives you extra rewards if you do choose to fight it. Unseen sigil monoliths that reward those who vanquish their foes without taking a scratch. Okay, so then kind of similar, you need to not take damage to get the reward. Alright. This is still mystery. But I'm a little hesitant to commit to spending these valuable resources at this point until we see if there are any Arcana-related things that require these S scales, or if they're, who knows, whatever else might require them. So why don't we chat with Hecate first?
Thin air upon that mountain made you mad, Malinoe. confronting Typhon of all creatures face to face.
Oops.
Hermes told me everything, save what was going through your head.
That's interesting, though, because Hecate has been very supportive of us throughout our journey, going up and down, even against Titans, but suddenly she draws the line here, and we absolutely have crossed it, it seems.
I was not about to turn my back on my family, especially not after having come so far. What should I have done? Flee at the first sight of that monster? We flee only as a last resort.
That we do. And you'd best keep reminding yourself of it ere you confront the father of all monsters again. Do not take unnecessary risks, or lose sight of the task.
It just seems weird, because that is so tonally different from Hecate. She had no hesitation supporting us in our fight against Titans, who, again, up until 10 minutes ago, we didn't even know that Kronos was not the most formidable foe. We had this whole Typhon thing was not on our radar. So it's just weird how different Hecate is treating this. Now, of course, you could take that to mean Typhon is just such a formidable foe that he leaves Kronos in the dust, but it just still seems odd. Maybe it's a unique dialogue of sorts that we got because rather than getting to the summit of Olympus and failing midway and sort of getting hints of, hey, this might be Typhon, before we actually faced him, we just went there and we faced him immediately, and that's why Hecate's like, hey, you rushed into this, what the heck? We could have learned something before we took on the most powerful being. But, I don't know.
Yes, headmistress.
It seems a little out of place, even in that circumstance, if there was just a little more lead up to it. Hey, this is why I'm so mad at... I mean, like, yes. Obviously, she's mad because Typhon is powerful, but so is Kronos. To an incredible degree. All the gods and goddesses had to fight Kronos to defeat him in the past, and only just barely. Now he's returned, so you would think that Hecate would be very concerned about us fighting him, and yet no issue with that. Yeah, the mystery seeds look different now, but I think that's still the same thing we've seen in the past. Okay, so we plant that.
You'll flourish here.
Wait, can we plant? Oh, wait. Huh? Oh, the harvest time is way longer. Look at that. At least for this. 53? Oh, no, that is from Olympus, right? Okay, so I guess that does make sense. That still feels like that might be longer, but compare that to you, 5. Nothing. And then you, mandrake seeds are 9. That's from the second floor on the surface, right? Still nothing there?
You look comfortable.
Okay. Also, theoretically, the cat, although not new, is now available to us. Though I don't think we found it yet. It might be over here somewhere. So is there... I mean, if we look to upgrade some things... There's a chance that something might cost some of these new resources. Usually it's moon dust. But there you see now the moon dust and the wool look very different. So it's hard to mistake those for one another. I think that's good. It's hard at times to differentiate between them in the past. Oh, and it doesn't show us what it costs to upgrade Arcana card that we don't even have yet, so don't see
wisdom of my predecessors.
Anything that requires those S scales, but there are some things that we haven't gotten yet, like this. We have more feathers now. Those were a resource that we considered to be quite rare, and therefore we were kind of stockpiling them, but might be a little more willing to invest in this now, even if this is a pretty crazy Arcana card that I'm not all that comfortable in using at this point, but just poke around. Okay, there you are. Let's see. What can we learn about you? First, we have to do this.
Good girl.
But given the rework to the way resource collection works, I feel like one of the biggest benefits to Phrynos may not be that much of a thing anymore. So what do you do?
Come, Tula.
Sprint by Tula, and she will attack. Oh. I'm sorry, Skelly!
May we converse? Look like a scratching post to you?
Okay, so what? She attacks 3 times, and then she goes and sits down. We sprint at her again. She attacks again. 99 damage. That's actually not horrible. That's pretty solid. I mean, Skelly has a lot of HP, so it doesn't look like much, but that's the equivalent of several of our attacks. She's pretty slow, and then she only does 3 attacks before she sits down, and it might be kind of annoying to run back over to get to her sometimes. But okay. Anything else we get from her? Bonus Death Defiance? Okay, that's a pretty big deal. Alright. We get bonus chance of resources from fishing. She probably once upon a time would have... She might still automatically complete fishing for you, I don't know. Kind of like what Phrynos does with the shades. If you sprint nearby and lunges nearest foe for 99 damage, bonus death defiance +1, that's humongous. Bonus chance of resources plus 10% for fishing. Felines such as this are fiercely independent. Their loyalty, hard won. It took us a long time to get her. They're in the very early stages. In the crossroads, we saw her, and then we saw what looked like a dog. And then we interacted with them several times until eventually they ran off. And of course, we eventually got Tula? Is that her name? Here? Yes. She's not new. We had seen her before. Or at least not new to the game. We just personally only recently unlocked her. But I imagine that third familiar is probably the dog that we saw once upon a time.
Mind telling all these shades that no, the father of all monsters isn't back? Because they're so caught up with this outrageous rumor, they don't buy it when I tell them.
You see, but the thing is...
Commander, the thing is, I confronted Typhon himself just last night. While Kronos schemes from the underworld, that monstrosity attacks Olympus.
Yeah, so not only... I mean, we've talked a lot now about how Typhon kind of came out of nowhere. But it also is weird in that it puts Prometheus as not the final enemy going upward. So it kind of makes Prometheus seem less significant, but he's a Titan. So that seems very odd to have this Titan who, at least by that account, is on the same level as Kronos is. I mean, sure, you could make the argument that Kronos is a more powerful Titan than Prometheus is, but they're both Titans. So it's a little strange to sort of to reduce the significance of Prometheus like that. And it seemed from previous discussions with Prometheus as if he were on par with Kronos. Although, again, as we also said, there was one more floor going down than there was going up, and that did seem odd. So from that standpoint, okay, now making it the same number of floors in either direction does make sense. And the whole thing we were saying earlier about how the Mount Olympus, not the summit, the penultimate floor, Mount Olympus, was very difficult, and it seemed like, you know, maybe the enemies were balanced that way specifically because there was one fewer floor going up, and you could sort of justify it in that way. But now that there are the same number of floors in either direction, makes sense that they theoretically made some of the Olympus enemies weaker, although, as I said when we were going through it, I still feel like some of those enemies are pretty overpowered, at least with some of their attacks, where they can hit you multiple times in quick succession for huge bursts of damage, or they have, you know, crazy range, or abilities that lock on to you very effectively, all those sorts of things. I still feel like they're overtuned a bit.
I knew all that. It's just, I was just checking to see if my disciples had the nerve to stand up for that which they truly believed. And they did. Nice going, everyone.
So you knew of Typhon's return?
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so, just double check what we have here. Oh, okay. It's possible to upgrade these resources, and what does that do? That gives us a higher chance of getting the one extra of a specific boon type, which we did. Well, no, did this exist before? It might have. Yeah, because we've done that for the pick already. I don't know, but it was lighting up as if it was new, wasn't it? It's at least the UI for it is different, which is throwing me off a little bit as to whether that's actually new or basically just reformatted.
Within the silver pool now swim dark apparitions of the arms of night, in forms unlike the princess of the underworld has previously seen.
Do we have one more?
So many different forms.
Hold on. Do we have one more aspect of each of these weapons? Did we only have 2 before? No, because we fully upgraded the aspect of... Oh wait, Malinois. I remember this. Do I remember this? I imagine some of these, even if they already did exist, probably got reworked. No, I remember aspect of Pan being a thing. And obviously we've already used both of these since we've upgraded both of these, so okay. Again, some of them might be new / reworked, but it's not as if there is... There were always 3 options, it seems like, for these. Oh, also, hold on. It's worth checking if any of them require some of those serpent scales. Maybe that at later levels that becomes a thing. We did pick up a nightmare and some of, what was it, the other, like, the one that we purchased from the shop. Don't remember the name of it, but that was also pretty rare. Did get more golden apples as well. Okay, so I'm not sure that we're about to purchase any of these upgrades right now, but might just wait to see what we opt to go for the next run. And that could very well influence what we want to invest in here. Plasma? Oh, we have some of that. I don't remember what that comes from. Is that from the Chaos area? And then these upgrades here. We did get a whole bunch of boons in the previous run, but didn't get anything to scale based on our number of boons. Unfortunately. Nothing based on, like, the number of water boons you have, and so on and so forth. But, I think this is probably a good place for us to wrap up here. We know, of course, that there are... Oh! Apparently, we have now learned of another of these Chaos Trials. But again, I think we're gonna focus on going up and, hopefully, defeating the new final boss and learning more about the various things that have been added to the game, because we saw a lot of those things. I'm glad we at least got the chance to see that final encounter, and it's hard to tell exactly how close we got, given how we can't see the final boss's life bar, but I think we actually did fairly well, and did get to experience a fair bit. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll, of course, check out more of the new things from the Hades 2 update, so I'll catch you next time.